Not those who are skilled in choosing their false stories about me. I notice and accept when there is unequal energy exchange. I have more mental real estate when I release people I bonded with through my trauma self and not through my healing self. Yet I am deeply grateful for the hidden gifts that divine used them for to help me see my worth. I speak the law of reciprocity and mutual exchange in my most intimate relationships. I now know misalignments are personal but vibrational. I allow myself into believing my emotional health is to create healthy boundaries for myself. I cast away the curse of suppressing my emotions. I am free from internal violence towards my feelings. How I feel is a part of fulfilling my purpose. Healthy boundaries for myself. I cast away the curse of suppressing my emotions. I recall all my power and all my energy back to me with divine care. Whoever, whatever is living off my light energy, run that back, get your own. I'm emotionally gifted, so I must guard that gift with wisdom and firmness. My openness is emotionally generous. I must be watchful. I'm seeing who are and aren't skilled to receive. I receive what others' blind spots are, teaching me about budgeting my energy and setting and boundaries. I have the right to tell people what they don't want to hear in the name of setting and boundaries. I also won't exhaust myself on people who ain't listening. I'm done with people pleasing and attachment to make everyone happy with me. I won't share like how I used to share. I people wiser. I know now people pleasing isn't love, but it is fear. I am magnificent at releasing expired emotional ties to how I structure my life with people, knowledge, money, friends, nutrition, health of my body, love, and time. I'm free from over-explaining and justifying my choices. My cutoffs are personal, they're spiritual. Anyways, I call back all energy that belongs to me. I am not the caretaker of those who want to stay asleep. I release the programming of being already responsible for the happiness of others. The new tell me who I should share my intimate energy with. I focus my energy on who sees me and skillfully respects me. Not those who are skilled in choosing their false stories about me. I notice and accept when there is unequal energy exchange. I have more mental real estate when I release people I bonded with through my trauma self and not through my healing self. Yet I am deeply grateful for the hidden gifts that divine used them for to help me see my worth. I speak the law of reciprocity and mutual exchange in my most intimate relationships. I now know misalignments are personal but vibrational. I roll myself into believing my emotional health is to create healthy boundaries for myself. I cast away the curse of suppressing my emotions. I'm free from internal violence towards my feelings. How I feel is a part of fulfilling my purpose. I explore a healthy relationship between my emotions and boundaries. If they feel like home and they feel safe to be around, I spend more time with that type. I'm learning how to interpret people's energy, especially those I love. I emit my own frequency, monitor how much energy I absorb from events, social media, texting, conversations, entertainment, and thinking. I attract connections where my love languages are valued, explored, and met. I'm on a budget. I gotta keep that same energy, no matter what. I surround myself with emotionally mature allies that are strong when I am vulnerable. I vow that I play nice just to be named nice. My circle got like a lowercase o, and I love it here. I'm laughing because I have no clue what's here. But god dang it, I'm gonna get curious and lean into it like I know it will all be all good for me, good for us. I have people in my life re-examine, to reposition in my life. I am honest with who really got what it takes to connect with me and what I offer to connection. On some real-ish, my worth is not based on how much I give. Even if I'm misinterpreted or misunderstood, I know I'm not being distant. I am now gravitating to the vibes that best suit my energy. I'm picky with what I allow into my inner courts. I am my own verification. I embrace learning relational intelligence to enrich how I relate and invite others to relating deeper, even if parts of me are hey guys, I'm surrounded. Come on in. We're gonna get started shortly. I have the wisdom to see through agendas, to play any individual or collective racial wounds against my emotional energy and free thinking. The power within me is stronger than the 1%. Attempts to control my energetic wealth and well-being. My energy is the truest wealth in existence. I am made in the image of God, and I am opening to realizing that more. This is my truest identity, and no one can tell me otherwise. 2019 was a launching pad to my truest thrive ever. I'm selective where I place my emotional resources and jewels. I open up to only those worthy of my trust. I work connections that have spiritual depth. I no longer have to be the strong, the spiritual one. I have accepted a aligned tribe. I now know that toxic energy of those close to me are not acclimatized by my spiritual relationship with myself and kindness towards them, with a swiftness and humility. I bow out of that and let their life be their teacher. I love people, but my energy tolerance budget is hella bougie. I gotta watch my budget on this energy here. Hey, 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 hey. Industrial and product design? Find a 3D designer today. Fiverr. Start now. Hello, hello, hello. We are excited. I hope you guys are excited. Turn your cameras on. We're going to have some fun. Super duper excited. We're going to get started in about 5 minutes. Hello, Sharice. Hey, Carmela and Janine. Teach me the truth of my soul. I have a spiritual immune system against fraudulent love. Hello. This chess move I play is going within. This is what puts me on game. Now I must own the role of the high priestess of who I am. It's sanctuary. I find hello, beautiful. Let me change my background. I am being a bad. Let me change my background. Okay. Girl, I forgot. Manipulated messaging, false worship, and self-loathing about women. I'm a mystical woman. Knowing my path goes far past a physical one. I stay patient and calm, knowing the divine plan for my life is working. Is it gonna work? With what my life requires to be lived and expressed further. I denounce all conditioning of hyper-independence and obsession to win. I denounce all false gods, leaders, celebrities that feed into soul poverty. I have feminine faith. Deep in my mind, there's an inner sanctuary. Hope you guys' Thursday is going great. Hello, hello, hello. Come on in. Share where you are dialing in from. Hello, Rose. Hey, Zariah. Hey, Shalonda. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am being rebirthed. I'm grieving what I thought were goals. I'm stripping away shame. I shed the pettiness. I know petty is played out. I release all energies and release.
Hello, LaShana.
Hello. Miss me with the incompetent insight. The hidden things are revealed to me in the sanctuary. Because the great I am saw it first, it said something, and I can't unsee it. I can't unhear it. I'm really careful of the 411. I take in on social media. My mind is a temple. I must guard it accordingly. I'm saying to it. I'm saying to it. All my life is content, and for my ascension, I use it all to get more holy, more sanctified. I am walking scriptures, personified in womanhood, heavy on the spiritual. Because divinity is in the details. That's what makes me undeniable. I annihilate, obliterate all sorcery, generational spells, curses that keep me in a
You are totally fine.
to my majestic magic.
We are streaming on YouTube, FYI, everyone. We are going to get started shortly. We might be on CPT. We're going to get started right at 6:05. Let us know where you're dialing in from. And also, who are you? What do you do? Because you never know who's in the room.
At the altar of sovereign strategy, I vow to drink from the word spirit put in my mouth. I'm body growth. Priestess swag has taken over. I feel low-key sanctified. The miracles, the confidence I'm flowing in biblical proportions. I have wisdom inside of me. Being aligned is a lifetime of clarity for my life. I have realized an ageless knowing of self with this sanctuary. I'm sanctuary. I express and live my life in a state of engaged non-attachment. When I realize I'm sliding back into emotional attachment to a perspective, I breathe deeply and return to a grounded state. I'm a sacred temple. No one who meets me is ever the same. It's sacred.
All right. Hello, everyone. I am super excited that you guys are here tonight. Let me stop sharing my screen so we have everybody on the screens. I'm super excited. Welcome to the Mindset Megafest. My name is LaShana West, and I am your host and curator tonight. And let me tell y'all something. I hope you have your notepad, your pens, and you got your pearls that you're trying to clutch, because when I tell you it's about to go down, we have so many amazing speakers lined up for you tonight. You also know that we have Tony Jones here, the affirmation, I call her affirmation goddess, affirmation artist. We were just listening to her right now. So a couple housekeeping. Please make sure that you are on mute unless it is time for you to share. That way we are not distracted, and some of you guys purchased the replay. If you already know you want to purchase the replay, Zariah is going to drop the link in the chat, and I want to make sure that it's a quality replay, right? Also, make sure that you are fully present. I know sometimes, guys, when I'm on Zoom, I'm frying chicken, I'm checking the mail, I'm driving, I'm doing all the things. We're not doing that tonight. Deal? Is that deal? We're going to be fully present tonight? Cool. And then also we have some social media shares and prizes. So whenever someone says something that resonates, make sure that you are screenshotting, you are doing boomerangs, you're sharing on your story, and you're tagging myself and the speakers, because we're going to be doing some social media share prizes. Lastly, if you did not join the Facebook group, my program in business is called Accountability on Demand. And we have a free Facebook community where you're able to get tapped in on mindset, business strategy, community building, and more, even after the event. And we want to keep the party going. So we're going to drop that Facebook group link in the chat as well. So we're going to do a quick icebreaker. All right. Quick icebreaker for the one time. And what I would like to know, number one, if you did not already put who you are in the chat, who are you and what do you do in the chat? Now, sometimes that question can be triggering, right? Especially if we don't have clarity yet and we don't know what we want to say, but you can literally put, I am a mom, I am a mother, I am a child of God, I'm a therapist, I'm a CEO, I'm a doctor, whoever you are. We just want to know who's in the building, because guess what? You never know who needs you. And so when you're able to share who you are and where you're at, you're going to be able to connect with people who you didn't even know you could connect with. So I'm going to give you guys a couple minutes to do that. And let me have a couple of you come off mute and share with us, who are you and what do you do? Whoever wants to go, let's get 2 or 3 shares. Not everybody at once. You know what? Let me make sure y'all able to come off mute. I think that is the issue. Oh, yep, you guys are. So y'all want me to just call on y'all or what? All right, I see Rose has her hand raised. Rose, go ahead.
Hi, my name is Royal Rose. I'm in a hospital right now, but I'm a motivational speaker, a mother of 6, and a survivor of 60 years of abuse.
Wow, thank you so much for being here, Rose.
Yes.
I know that you're going to get a lot of information and synergy from this session.
Yes, I got my pen, my paper. I am ready. Play for the upgrade. I did the upgrade.
Oh, let's go, Rose. Rose said, she said, I got my replay. We not doing that. Well, thank you for being here. And that's why, guys, why I love the digital era and social media, because Rose is able to tune in right from where she's at and not miss a beat. Such a blessing. Thank you for being here, Rose.
Yes, just please pray for me. I got some bad news today, but I'm a believer.
Most definitely. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
No problem. All right, who would like to go next?
Hello.
Hello there.
Hey, my name is Jamesia. I am a life coach, author, motivational speaker, and striving to be a 2%er. And that's me.
Amazing. Thank you. And where are you located, Jamesia?
I'm in Goldsboro, North Carolina.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here. Let's see. We have Will Serve. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but I just read it from what I see. I see your hand is raised. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, ma'am. I am Will Serve. I'm located in Atlanta, Georgia. I am an entrepreneur. I am a digital creator, a part-time actor. I've designed some sneakers of my own. I'm a filmmaker, and I have a notepad, and I'm ready to take in all this positive information. Thank you.
Amazing. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So I want to thank you guys for introducing yourself. And this is the thing, one thing about me. So for those that don't know, I'm a business therapist, and I help entrepreneurs and CEOs pinpoint the mindset blocks that are stopping them from scaling in life and in business. And I believe that the number one root is literally stems from lack of confidence and lack of clarity. And sometimes, and don't let me forget the foundation, lack of courage. And sometimes when you got to introduce yourself, that thing right there might be nerve-wracking. It might be anxiety provoking. But one thing that I believe is that we are all in the gym, right? And if we're in the gym and we're practicing, what they say? You wasn't with me when I was shooting in the gym, right? We're in the gym. And if we can practice in a safe space, just imagine when you get that tap on the shoulder, or you're in the elevator and someone says, hi, how are you? What do you do? You're not going to be nervous. And for those who are like, girl, I ain't nervous, I'll introduce myself. Kudos to you, right? That's great. But there are some of us who this is like a stretch. So thank you guys for introducing yourself. And I'm so excited that you're here. If you didn't get to introduce yourself, go ahead and pop it in the chat. And then I'm going to go to my next question. What does mindset mean to you? When you think of mindset, because remember, guys, we're at the Mindset Megafest. What does mindset mean to you? I would love for you guys to raise your hand, and I'll call on you just for organization. And I want to know, let's share, like, when you think of mindset, what does that mean to you? And don't be scared, y'all. This is an interactive night, okay? Y'all about to have some fun, so don't get scary on me now, okay? All right, I see Rose with her hand raised. What would you like to share, Rose?
I got my mic. Okay. I think mindset for me, I think it means changing what I was thought to believe what it is. So changing my mindset, changing what I was raised thinking, because that's where I'm at now. Because all my life I did what everybody else told me to do, what I thought was right. I said to you earlier, I'm a survivor of 60 years of abuse, and I never knew how to take care of me. I raised 6 kids, buried 3 husbands, and I buried 2 kids. So I'm just finding out who I am. Really.
You know what? That's interesting because believe it or not, I think a lot of us, no matter our age, are really finding out who we are because sometimes we get programmed the traditional way. And me and Tony was talking about this on live to where you're programmed a certain way. And at one moment you're like, you know what? That's not who I want to be anymore. And you have the courage and you get to decide who you want to be. So Rose, thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, and I did something. I was listening to Tony. This is how I got introduced to you. And for 6 months, I have not been watching television.
Girl, me either.
And I don't even miss it.
I concur. I need to turn my cable off. I don't watch television either. Who on here watch television? Give me a 7 if you watch it. Give me a 1 if you don't really watch it no more. And I know we be on YouTube and all of that, but do you literally watch the cable, the television? Okay, I'm seeing tons of 1s in the space. Okay, so we on the same page. All right, Diane, what does mindset mean to you? Shalonda said, I have been on a TV watcher even as a child. Wow, have never been. Got you. All right, Diane, what does mindset mean to you?
Hello to all. My name is Diane with 2 N's. Mindset means to me just what Rose said. And I'm really honored to be here. And also being mindful of everything you do. And that's a struggle for me, everything, because once I found out I was an empath, I've been on this 10-month journey, and the way everything went down, it's being mindful because I can't just jump out of bed, take a shower, and go about my day. There's a process. And mindful is a really big one, and we must let go of the beliefs that we grew up with. I'm 61 years old, starting over. I just started journaling. I've been doing a lot of journaling in the 10 months I've been on this healing journey. So yeah, mindset is very, very important. And I think that's probably the number 1 on the list there, is being mindful of everything we do. Journaling is so important. Yes, it is. I've healed a lot in the 10 months since I've been journaling, and I didn't even realize I love writing. I didn't know who I was. I had been raising children for 42 years. So at 19, I had my first child. And I didn't even realize I was stuck in mommy mode until it hit me a couple months ago. So it's a lot of people out here struggling with the same issues. So breaking the bad habits, breaking, what we were taught. And it's real. We have to unlearn to relearn.
You preach it. I think we need to go on Pat. You want to host tonight, Diane?
I would love to host. That's one of my callings. It is one of my callings. I had been running from my calling for many years. I just came off the road trucking of 7 years. Because I was isolating myself. So I try not to isolate myself now because I have been really placed in a beautiful place. I'm looking at the beach now in Florida, which is where I live. And so this is where my healing journey has taken place. So yeah, I'm just happy to be here and happy to have saw you on, I think a reel or something. I kind of sneaked on IG because I haven't been on social media for a while. I don't watch TV. And Tony, I ran across Tony Jones about 2-3 months ago because I was a hot mess then. And she was right on time. She was right on time with everything. And so God does know when to put things in your space when that time comes.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. So
You're
guys,
welcome.
no problem. For time purposes, I'm going to move to Lakita, and then we're going to rock and roll with our first speaker. Lakita, what does mindset mean to you, sis?
Hey, I believe mindset is just how you view yourself and your experience with others and, you know, the world around you.
Short and sweet, and I concur. I totally concur. So listen, guys, make sure you got a pen and paper. Make sure you have an open mind, and make sure that you are participating, because we're going to have so many different speakers tonight and some breakout activities to where I want you to walk away with your cup filled, okay? So my first speaker, and let me just check, is Lucinda here? I wanted to make sure she wasn't logged in under another name. Lucinda? All right, so we're gonna move to Sharice. And let me tell you something. I love to hear Sharice talk. Her tone is so, how do I say this? It's just like confident and matter of fact, to where I just be like, sis, let them know, sis. That's what I'm talking about. And she's a fellow therapist. But Sharice's gonna be talking about how to prioritize chaos. Give me a 8 in the chat if you have been experiencing chaos. Whatever chaos means to you. Chaos could be not getting your grass cut. Chaos could be that the kids is running amok. And chaos could be that things are a hot mess. Whatever chaos is to you, let me get my 8s in the chat for the one time. Hold up, y'all. Okay, let me get my 8s in the chat. Sharice, you have the floor. I'm going to spotlight you.
All right, I am here. Welcome. Can y'all see me okay? Everything good?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. I am Sharice Josie. Let's get into this. Now, I like to speak and talk with transformation. So if you feel motivated, great. If you feel compelled to transform something, that's excellent. So we're going to talk about how to prioritize chaos. All right. I want you to know that all of the most powerful emotions that we have come from chaos. How do you define chaos? I want y'all to drop in the chat for me. What is chaos to you? You can look it up in the Webster, all that stuff. It doesn't matter. Your definition matters to you. Drop maybe a couple of words. What is chaos? How do you define chaos? How do you even know that you are in a state of being chaotic and just feeling like a lot is going on? Disorder, I see it, Carmela. Not being able to control things, infinite tabs on my list, all those things, just keep it going. And I want you to know your definition, because as we go through this, I want you to think about how you are defining chaos and how that impacts other areas of your life. And then we're going to get clear about how to prioritize it. Now, for clarification, we are not here to fight life, right? We're just here to manage it and to get into a rhythm with it, okay? We're not going to fight life, but I don't want you to fight against it. So that's what we're going to pay attention to. So we're going to shift your mindset about how you view chaos. Just a quick intro. Thank you, LaShana, for introducing me. I am a licensed clinical social worker. I am a therapist. I have been licensed since 2005, so I've been licensed for a minute. I have a private practice I've had for about 3 years, and I also work for the government for about 10 years. 10 years more if I can hang in there. If I can hang in, we'll see. But I work with high achieving women leaders. And I started to work with that population because I realized that I am she. I started my career working with children in foster care, and it manifested into an adult. And I came to my practice because I'm sitting in church one day, and at the end of in the church service, my father-in-law, who's my pastor, he asked for prayer requests. He says, anyone have any prayer requests? And I was going through a horrible time, stressed at work. Has anyone ever had like where your work and your home, it just feels like it's just chaotic at the same time? Now, maybe one is hard, maybe the other, but when you feel like just everything is coming at you, I had small kids and just balancing a lot. So when he asked, is there any prayer requests, there was women that would raise their hands, and they would say things that was pretty hard, you know, like somebody just died or someone's in the hospital, stuff that was just difficult. And if y'all have been to church, you know, after they say it and they sit down, everyone's smiling. And then after church, giving hugs, bless you, sweetheart, bless you. And I said, I cannot be the only one sitting here silent in a hot mess. And someone just said, I'm going through a lot, but then her voice got silent. And I said, I'm not the only one. So what happens was I started a women's wellness workshop in my church. And the only reason I started that, I said, because these women need a voice, I need a voice. They didn't need a voice, I need a voice. I created the atmosphere. I promise y'all, the only thing I hope for is for people to show up and got something out of it. And on the evaluation form, someone wrote, do you have a private practice? And I'm thinking, I didn't think about an aftercare plan. I just was hoping y'all would show up and enjoy it. And from there, I started my business. I didn't even think about a business at a time, because I said, if I ever did this again, I would not leave another woman hanging. I want to give her a space to process what she just learned. So that's why I started my private practice. This is why I target the silent women, the women who say, I'm the go-to. I'm the one that's running my business. I'm the one who's the corporate. I'm the director. I'm the supervisor. I'm the mommy. I'm the wife. I got to look good. I got to do the ghetto Kama Sutra for my husband. I got to do all these things. I got to do it with a smile and with confidence, even though I am hurting inside, right? And that hurt can be chaos. That hurt can be grief. That hurt can just feeling stuck. That hurt can just feel like your day is just going in circles. That's what we're talking about. If it resonates with you, drop me a 1 and just let me know that you understand something about what I'm saying. I want to make sure I'm not talking to myself. I want to make sure I'm not talking to myself. How I knew I need to get out of this is because I was overextended and I was overinvested. I overextended myself into work. Why am I showing up to work early to get the same paycheck? Why am I bringing work home? Why am I staying late? Why am I doing things just because I can do it? Right? Sometimes chaos means that we have overextended and overinvested. This is what I want you to get, and write this down. Just because I can do it does not mean I have to. Just because you can do it does not mean that you have to. Here's the thing about high achieving people is that we have a lot of skills in a lot of areas, and we think that we need to prove to people what our skills are. No, we don't. That's the imposter part in us that's saying, I need to show that I am worthy. I need to show that I can do this. Let me get this feedback, whether it's verbal, whether it's a raise, whether it's personal. That's us. You have now overextended and overinvested yourself. That was my first mistake. But then I said, now I need to learn how to pull back, right? I need to learn how to pull back. Now that's the whole task, right? How do you pull back? When we overextend, we multitask. Do I have any multitaskers in here? Anybody who multitask? I used to pride myself on multitasking. If I can handle this, that, and I got it all done, oh, I'm the woman. Nobody tells me anything. I'm a multitasker. Bring it on. I got it. You know what happened? I was exhausted. Multitasking equals chaos. Why? Because now you are out of order, right? And there's a lot of confusion going on. You may think that you are handling it. You're handling it physically, but not emotionally. Somebody said, I feel attacked. Right? You're handling it physically, but you're not handling it emotionally. All right. When you're not handling something emotionally, you have now impacted your emotional space. Pay attention, write it down, emotional space. Because if you don't understand what your emotional space is, this is the part, this is the transformation part. When I tell you I had to go through a healing of what is emotional space, this is it, right? This is it. Your emotional space is your emotional energy. This is what it is. If you don't have the emotional space, the emotional capacity in your mind and your heart, meaning you feeling exhausted, you have short patience, and if anything is out of order, if anything is out of your system, you get mad. Why? Because you do not have the emotional capacity to deal with something other than what you had planned. You didn't create that space for yourself. I didn't create that space for myself, right? So let me tell you how I got the biggest lesson and the biggest thing of saying, you don't understand what emotional energy is, and I had to. I had my children I was mid-30s, right? So I was a little bit later in life when I had my daughters. I thought I was going to have 2 boys or a boy and a girl, right? Because I was like, well, I don't have a good relationship with my mom. I have a brother, and I've always only kept maybe 2 to 3 female friends, right? So when the nurse said, oh, you're having a girl. I was like, okay, a boy and a girl. I wasn't expecting my first one to be a girl. Okay, I can deal with this. Second pregnancy, nurse said, you're having another girl. When I could tell you that pin dropped in that room, I was quiet. My husband was quiet. The nurse was like, should I speak? Right? And it wasn't that I had a gender preference. It was because I was scared of not knowing what to do. I was scared. How am I going to be a good mother to girls when I don't know what a good, healthy mother-daughter relationship looks like? I don't know how to nurture a sister relationship. I didn't have a sister. So if anyone have kids, if you ever thought you knew anything, children will tell you that you know nothing, right? Children will teach you, start completely over, and you know nothing. Before I came on this thing, my 8-year-old came up here and she came and checked on me, and I heard her leaving. She went downstairs and told her sister, she'd been up there all that time and she ain't even started. I'm thinking, well, how are you judging me, right? And I had to learn how to love my daughters differently. I wanted to love them in a way that I was comfortable for me, but it wasn't what they needed for their growth. So in order for me to do that, I had to create emotional energy and emotional space for me to say, if I want to parent the way that I want to parent, I have to understand what that means to me. I have 2 daughters in the same household, but they have different personalities. I have to love them differently, right? Which means that I cannot be overextended in any other area of my life that I don't care about and who does not care about me. I cannot be overinvested in places who I really don't care about and who really does not care about me. So when something can be done and I can do it, I know I have the talent to do it, but I don't have the ministry to do it. Sis, I'm done. I'm like, that sounds like a lot. I wish y'all the best. Call me if you need anything. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to give you some emotional support. That's as much as I can give you, right? Because that's as much as I've learned, right? I'm going to take a step back. All right. Does that make sense? Does that resonate with y'all? Do y'all understand that? I use my daughters as an example, but when you had your definition of chaos, I want you to insert your example of saying, how is this chaos impacting my emotional energy in spaces of my life that I care about? That's what you want to pay attention to. So being in a chaotic space is preventing you from noticing what you need. When I'm in a chaotic state, it's preventing me from being the best mom that I am learning to be for them. I have zero desire to be a perfect mother. I tell my children now, you're going to write a book or something about your relationship with your mother. I'm trying to keep it as a pamphlet. Right now, they're 8 and 10. We had a pamphlet. I ain't trying to get to a chapter. I said, but you're going to write something, right? You're going to have a story because I'm their mother and I'm the main part in their growing and their growth, right? The relationship with their mom. But I need to understand that, right? If I don't, it's preventing that growth. So here's 5 things. Here's 5 things I'm learning during this journey. I love that. It's a journey. I like that. 5 things. Write these 5 things down of how to prioritize your chaos. 1 is I want you to find emotional space. What does that look like? Sis, I want you to learn how to rest. I want you to learn how to rest. I don't want you to rest so that you have the energy to do something else, because you are not committing to your rest. Anybody rest just to have energy to do something else? I know, I've done it. That's not resting, right? I want you to be fully committed to your rest and say, you know what? I'm going to rest for an hour. I'm going to rest for 30 minutes. I'm going to rest for a day, whatever you choose to do. But you say, this rest means I'm going to commit to this rest. For my birthday, I said, I'm going to take off work. That's good. I took off work. But then I said, once I do these few things, then I'm going to rest. Nothing important. I need to do laundry. Let me put the dishes away. And I said, Sharice, put it down. Put it down and rest. So I sat on the couch and I started going through my DVR shows. And as I'm clicking through the DVR shows, I said, you still doing something. I clicked all them shows off. I put on Golden Girls and I took a nap. Now I'm resting. Now I have committed to my rest. Because if you don't commit to your rest, you are over committing, you are overextending, and you are over investing again. Number 1, commit to your rest. The second thing I want you to do is I want you to define your chaos. You remember earlier when I asked you, what is chaos to you? I want you to define your chaos. So what does your chaos look like? Are you multitasking? Is that your chaos? Are you a problem solver? Does every problem you determine that is something that you must solve? Do you overwork? Do you have a bedtime? Do you have a bedtime routine? Do you have a morning time routine? Understand what your chaos look like. If you don't understand it, we can't fix it, right? We can't monitor it, right? Are you overachieving? Here's one. Are you trying to fix your spouse who didn't ask you to fix them? Just asking, no heat, no judgment. Don't get mad, right? But that's chaotic if you're trying to help someone, right? And they ain't asked for the help. That might be your chaos. The third thing, I want you to notice if you have EFP. I want you to notice if you have EFP. EFP is emotions, feelings, problem. That means emotions and the feelings are not your thing. That you would much rather solve a problem or complete a task than to understand what your emotions look like. Try this. See how it feels to you. I just want you to say to yourself, I cry. How does that feel to you? Let me try another one. I want you to say to yourself, I love you. We're showing some emotions. I love you. How does that feel? I'm jealous. I'm jealous. I miss you. How does that feel to you? Here's a hug. I want y'all to get comfortable. If you notice, if you have EFP, right? Problems with emotions and feelings. You have emotions, feelings, problem. If you do, this is something for you to notice, right? I see a lot of problem solvers in there, right? And I saw a comment earlier, which I like, that says people say that I'm negative. Negative is a protective way where we don't have to deal with our emotions. Did y'all notice on this list, I didn't say anything about saying I'm angry and I'm mad? Did y'all notice that? Because that's the most easiest emotion for us to have, is to get angry. It shows up differently, right? It shows up differently for people. Some people are outwardly angry. Some people are passive aggressive angry, but usually it's easy for us to be angry, but it's harder, more challenging for us to say what we need. It's harder and more challenging to say that I feel hurt. My feelings were hurt. I feel left out. I feel rejected. I feel like I'm doing the best that I can, but somehow it's not good enough and I don't know what else to do. That's more challenging, but that's your growth. That's your work, right? You don't have to solve it. You just have to understand it. Just understand. It's the only thing I want you to do. The fourth thing is make finding your emotional space a need. This is not a want. Make defining your chaos a need, not a want. And I want you to notice if you're making EFP a priority, right? That you are making your emotions and feelings a problem, having that a priority, right? I'm avoiding that like the plague. Notice if that's something that you do. And the fifth thing that I want you to do, the last thing that I want you to do is I want you to recognize in all this list and everything that I said had nothing to do with anybody else. Anything I said had nothing to do with anyone else. This is your work. This is your work. So someone asked me to go through number 4 again. Number 4 had 3 parts to it. Is that I want you to notice finding your emotional space is a need. Make defining your chaos a need. And I want you to notice if you have EFP, meaning that you have a problem with showing emotions and feelings, right? Once you recognize and you can own it, it's no longer a secret anymore. Drop in the chat for me, my commitment to myself is, just drop something in the chat, because this is about transformation. This is about ownership. This is about accountability. My commitment to myself is, drop it some stuff in the chat. I want to see them. Y'all had no commitments because nothing's popping up on my screen. LaShana, my chat, bro.
Sis, we typing.
Love myself. Love it. Yes. Yes. Love it. Love it. My commitment to myself is to give myself, I can't read the whole thing. I love it. I'm going to go back and read them because I'm scared to click something. So if you all want to connect with me, Sharice Josie on all social media platforms. There ain't but one Sharice Josie that I know. Yeah, give myself the emotional space. Love it. Love it. So YouTube, Clubhouse, Instagram. I got a free gift from you on Instagram. All you have to do is follow me, DM me the word leader, Leader, leader. I got a free gift for you. This was great. LaShana, thank you so much for the opportunity. Thank you all for participating. I'm Sharice Josie and looking forward to the rest of the show.
Thank you so much. Can we come off mute and give Sharice some love? You can give her the happy fingers. Y'all remember these in kindergarten? I think they call it happy fingers. My daughter 19, but I think they call it happy fingers. Thank you so much. Listen, Sharice, you was coming for our next, sis.
Thank you.
And then this EFP, emotions, feelings, problems. I'm like, oh Lord, she is coming for our next. But this is the thing, y'all. Focus on you until the focus is on you. And sometimes we're so distracted about things that don't serve us, things that don't feed us, that we can't even focus on us. And that part where you said we rest just to get rested for something else, I was like, wow. But I am excited to report that I have been having monthly massages and working out twice a week with my trainer. And it's not to get a big booty or a little waist. It's for me to feel more energy, for me to feel good about myself, right? And so I'm excited about that. And I'm just screaming it to the rooftops because there was a time where blood, sweat, and tears, corporate America, being an adjunct, working my business, being a mom, that I didn't ever pour into me. So guys, right now, I want you to think about what is that one thing that Sharice shared that you are going to literally activate and take home. Let me get 2 people off of mute. Let me know what resonated the most to where your paper is like, you got that thing because you know you're about to implement. Let's see. Will, I have your hand raised. Let me get one more hand raised and then we'll move on. What do you got for us, Will?
Yes, a lot of that had resonated with me, but the one thing is, do I have it? And do I want to solve that problem that I have? And really think differently, attract the right energy, and make sure that others feel like differently than they have in the past with my voice, because it's a journey to control your emotions and your voice that I think might be taken the wrong way. But first, I admit that, yes, I do have EFP, which is something that is the first step in going in the right direction. So I appreciate her speaking so much.
Thank you for sharing that, and thank you for your honesty. And I think a lot of us have struggled with it, right? I don't think anything is finite. I believe that, yes, I struggle with this. Yes, I am working on this. So a mindset shift will, instead of, yes, I have it, yes, I am experiencing this, yes, I am working through this. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Perfect. Thank you for being open. Let me get one more share. What resonated? And what are you going to just start implementing immediately? One more share. Who do I have? Don't make me start calling y'all, because I will. All right, this is about to be fun.
I'll share.
Okay, you Jeremy got saved by the bell. What you got for us, Justice?
Okay, first of all, I have a box of tissues over here and I'm using them. Tears are healthy for me because my biggest problem was not feeling.
Amen.
And in this process that I'm going through, this is exactly where I need to be today. So first of all, I thank you for having this space. And second of all, everything resound with me. But what hit me the most was I have to find my emotional space. I have to find it, because then the chaos that has been created around this false idea of being it for everybody else will allow me to be at peace with myself. And that is what I desire the most out of everything.
Wow, I love it. Thank you for sharing that, Justice. That is huge. Make sure you guys are sharing in the chat. Just because you don't come off mute does not mean you cannot share. And now what I want to do is move on to our next speaker. She is professional_DNA on all things social. And she's going to be talking about how to develop and sustain a strategic mindset. So I'm going to spotlight you, my love, and you have the floor.
Awesome. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Great. Hi, everyone. Happy Thursday to you. Thank you so much, LaShana. Thank you, Coach, for creating this space and having this conversation tonight. I know that mindset is incredibly important to you and the work that you do, and you have helped me with my mindset and some shifts that I have made from a business perspective. So I really appreciate you and appreciate the opportunity to tap in with everybody tonight. So I'm gonna tell you right now, if you don't have a pen and piece of paper, make sure that you got that, because we are definitely going to go all in talking about how to develop and sustain a strategic mindset, what it even is. And I'm going to teach you a really, really simple framework called VICE, V-I-C-E. VICE, that's really going to help you not only develop the framework and develop the mindset, but to also keep it, right? How many things do we actually develop or start to develop, and then we can't sustain it? So I want to talk about sustainability. But first things first, before we jump into all of that, my name is Tarika Wheeler. I am the founder and CEO of T. Wheeler Strategic Solutions, and I am also a career and work-life strategist. I love working with high-achieving professionals, especially working parents and parentpreneurs who are looking to advance and take their lives, take their careers, take their businesses to another level, and to do so strategically so they can increase their income and they can achieve work-life harmony, where work and life are no longer battling and you are actually integrating them and they're coexisting together so that you can win at work and win at home. So I'm super passionate about that. I am a wife and mom of 3. I'm about to be an empty nester, y'all. My youngest just graduated from high school, which is insane. So I don't know what my husband and I are going to do with our time and our lives, but I don't know. We'll figure it out. But I'm not empty nester yet. So, because he's not gone to school yet, he's still got a little bit of time at home. But I can tell you over the time, and I'm not sure how many parents, working parents or parentpreneurs. So you are a parent, but you are also in this entrepreneurial journey. Not sure how many I have on tonight, but if you are and you hit one of those, type working parent or parentpreneur parent, and then take out the entre and put preneur. Drop that in the comments in the chat so we know who's here and in the building. But I would love to know kind of where you fit in as we're thinking about it. So here's a little bit about kind of myself and why having a strategic mindset is so important. I will tell you that for me, life has not been the perfect little picture. I would love to say that I've been strategic all my life, but I have not. I did the typical thing. I graduated from high school. I went to college and then guess what? Got to college, had a funky good time. And within the freshman year, I had my first son. And who is now, I would like to say, he's completed that circle. It was amazing to watch that baby boy cross the stage for college in 2020. He graduated from college here in Virginia. And for me, life no longer took the traditional path, right? So in 2000, I got married, which was exciting, but I didn't graduate from college. I started a life. I started working, I started having children, we built the house, you do all the things. And I wasn't necessarily doing anything strategically, I was just doing. And I say that because a lot of times life will just keep going and flowing and you feel like everything is good and great. However, it's because you're good and you're great and you have this amazing calling over your life. And most of the things that we actually do in our day-to-day are actually great. But when it came down to the bumps in the road, that's when I realized that I wasn't actually being strategic. And I didn't really have a strategic mindset. I was just ebbing and flowing and ebbing and flowing. And when I think back and I'm like, okay, well, if I had a strategic mindset in 2005, what might that have looked like? If I had a strategic mindset in 2013, what might that have looked like? No. But what I know now is that when you take your strategic mindset and you apply that to life, you apply that to your career, you apply that to your business, it is a game changer because it allows you to approach things critically. It allows you to approach things in a way that is going to set you apart and put you on a very clear path to the success that you both desire and deserve. So for me, give you a little bit of ending of that story is that I actually got to a point where you know what? I want to go back to school. And it was the first little milestone that I would say was where I started to be strategic and really change my thinking. And I said, I'm going to go back to school. I'm going to finish my degree with married, 3 kids, running a nonprofit that my husband and I built from the ground up and operated for 13 years, being the director of our youth ministry within our church, so many things that were going on. But because I took a very strategic mindset and approach, I wasn't burned out. I wasn't overwhelmed. I wasn't tired. I was operating in purpose and I was operating strategically with the right mindset. And I'm proud to say that guess what? I graduated as an adult. I was 32 when I crossed the stage. Shout out to any of my adult learners out there. And I was super excited that I had the opportunity to say, okay, because I shifted my mindset, because I shifted my thinking, look at the return on that investment. Look at the return on the investment in my mindset, right? Look at the return on the investment when I actually thought differently and took a different approach. What did that yield me? And so from that point on, I was a strategic mindset. I'm team strategic mindset because I knew that taking the things that were happening in my life and actually putting some structure and plan around them was really going to help me see the success that I desired, the lifestyle that I desired for me and my family, the impact that I wanted to make, because I am impact over income all day. I literally just posted something today around not chasing income and actually pursuing impact. And when you actually pursue impact, guess what? The income is going to come, right? Because you're operating in purpose and you're pursuing the impact that you want to make. So you'll begin to attract the success that you desire. So I stopped chasing and started being strategic and being in pursuit of the things that I desired for my life, the things that I desired for my family, the things I desired for my business, right? So let's fast forward. Here we are, 2022. And I love talking about having a strategic mindset because when we break it down, I'm telling you right now, you already got the pieces. You have the pieces right now. I'm telling you. It's putting them together, right? So that you can have a strategic way of thinking when, not just when something comes up, not when there's a challenge and a bump in the road, but you can have strategic thinking throughout. I'm not saying don't dream and be the visionary and let your mind wander, because there's so much beauty in doing that. But when it comes to, okay, what am I doing? What am I building? What's my product? What's my service? What's my career path? Do I want to have a 9-to-5 and I want to be in entrepreneurship? Am I starting to build an exit plan strategically so that I can shift out of my 9-to-5 into entrepreneurship? Whatever the plan is, we need to approach it strategically. If you are rocking with me, this is making sense. Let me get a 1 in the chat so I know that I am not just like flying over the zone here and I'm not connected. I see the ones. Boom. Okay, so let's get into this framework. Okay, let's get into this framework and let's get into the definition. When I talk about you having a strategic mindset, it means that you are critically thinking about the steps that you are taking. You're critically thinking about the steps that you're taking. I'm gonna tell you right now, how many times do we just jump and we just go? And I'm not saying where people are encouraging you or empowering you that, just start. Even if you don't have it all figured out, just start. That's not what I'm talking about, because I want you to do that too. I don't want you to play small, right? I already know, coach in the building, LaShana tells us all the time, don't shrink, don't play small, like play big. What the kids say, go big or go home, right? So I'm not telling you to not do that. What I'm saying is that when it's time to start moving, when it's time to start using your time, your energy, your resources, and your money, I need you to be strategic. So do I want you to take the step off the curb? Yes. Do I want you to take the step out the boat? Absolutely. Right? I want you to start moving, because that's what's going to get your energy going. You're going to start networking and talking to people and thinking and brainstorming, what do I want to do? But the moment you are in a place where it's what your idea is, your goal is, your dream is, and you start to use time, energy, resources, and money, then I need you to shift into a strategic mindset so that we are not wasting time, energy, resources, and money. I don't know about you, but I have wasted a lot of time. I have wasted a lot of resources. I have wasted a lot of energy. And I'm gonna be real transparent and put my hand up, and you can slip yours up and put it back down. Ain't nobody gonna see it, that I've wasted a lot of money because I've not been strategic about the purpose and the calling over my life. And if we're honest with ourselves, there's times where we've not done that. And we need to do better about taking a strategic, a critical thinking approach to what we're doing. So let's jump in to this VICE framework for how to develop and sustain a strategic mindset. Okay? All right, here we go. Number 1 is V. V stands for vision. Somebody help me out in the chat and type vision. V stands for vision. Before we do absolutely anything, there has to be a target. And I don't mean target, y'all, red target. Not that target. That target is not, it's not always good for me. That is a struggle in my life. And I am trying to be delivered from what I call the $100 spin, because I don't believe I can walk out of Target without spending $100. But anyways, I digress. Not that target. I am talking about the target, the mission. What is the ultimate vision that you have, not for your business, not for your career, not for your family, but overall for your life? So many times we try to compartmentalize and we say, well, this is the vision for my business. Oh, well, this is the vision for my career. This is the vision for my kids. This is the I want you to think holistically. And I want you to think about what is the vision for your life? What is the ideal lifestyle? What is the impact? What is the legacy? What is it that you want to step away and be able to look back and like, yep, that's where I'm going. Yep, everything that I'm doing, I'm serving that vision. Because when you have the vision, right? And I want you to think about it, because I know we're thinking about it right now, but I also want you to what? Speak it out loud. And I want you to write it, right? Make the vision, right? Write the vision, make it plain. But a part of writing the vision and making it plain is that it goes from the mind through the mouth and onto paper, so that you can hold yourself personally accountable to the vision. Every goal that you set should serve the vision. Every step in action that you take should serve the vision, which is why the vision has to be holistic, because it does not make sense. It doesn't make sense for you to have your vision only to be about your business, because your life is not only your business. It doesn't make sense for your vision to only be about your family, because it's not just about your family. It's not just about your career. It's not honestly just about you. It's not just about your community. It's not just about your clients. Your vision is holistic, and it is the long-term legacy and impact that you're wanting to see. In order for you to start developing this strategic mindset, I need you to have vision, a clear target for ultimately where you want to go. A vision can take 10 years to get there. I'm in a 10-year vision, and I'm now on year 7. I just entered into year 7. Excited about that thing. I got 3 years to like hit that target. And guess what? If I fall short, I give myself grace. We may have to bump that back a little bit, but I love the progress that I've been making over these 7 years. You better believe it. Why? Because I've been on a mission to the target, to the vision. Making sense? So V is for what? Vision. Okay, let's go to I. LaShana, you tell me when I'm close to my time.
You have 3 minutes.
Awesome. So the I is intention. The I is intention. You have to be intentional. You have to be intentional. Stop haphazardly doing things and actually be intentional about your habits. Be intentional about who you speak to and who you allow to speak into you. Be intentional about where you go and where you don't go, what you listen to and what you don't listen to. Be very intentional, right? Because when you're intentional, you are also critically thinking about your time. You're critically thinking about your money. Do I spend money here? Or do I, no, I need to save up a little bit because I know I need to invest that here. Do I apply for that business credit right now? Do I even know what I'm about to do with it? Or do I wait till I have a more clear crystal path and plan, right? Be intentional. That's the I. All right, you guys got it? Awesome. Let's go to the C. Big C is confidence. Confidence. I'm going to tell you right now, you have got to have confidence to get to the vision. You have to have confidence in yourself. And that means affirming yourself, speaking positive to yourself. What's the song, Talk to Me Nice? Talk to yourself nice sometimes. Tell yourself, I'm going to do it. I will do it. I'm not, I might, I think. No, I will. I can. I am. Affirm the things that you know that you need to do to build up that confidence. And as you're making small wins, celebrate them. Treat yourself. What's your favorite snack? What's your favorite food? What's your favorite restaurant? Where do you like to go? Every little small win that is serving the vision, celebrate that. Celebrate that. We don't celebrate our successes that are right smack dab in our face enough. And as you do that, it is going to help you build your confidence. Last thing in our VICE framework and how you are actually going to, we're developing. So we've developed our strategic mindset through vision, intention, and confidence. But the way that you're going to sustain it is the E, which is evaluation. We don't go back and actually monitor and measure our steps. How many times do we do things and we actually don't go back to repeat? LaShana talks about this all the time, that you rinse and repeat, right? But a part of that rinse and repeat is for you to actually take a look at, well, is what I'm doing working? I mean, I know it's what everybody else is doing, but does it work for me? Does it work for my business? Does it work for my family? Does it work for my career? Does it work for me? And that evaluation is so important because it makes you take an interlook and a self-assessment and evaluate what you are doing strategically in your life and your business. What I will leave you with is this. You have everything inside of you to be your best and unique self, and don't let anybody else tell you different. But if you want to get to the things that you desire and that you doggone deserve in this life, I need you to be strategic and shift your thinking. And I need you to shift into a strategic mindset. Thank you so much, LaShana, for this opportunity to speak today in this Megafest. I so appreciate it, and I appreciate every single one of you.
No problem. Let's give it up for Tarika, professional_DNA. Let's give it up for her. That was amazing. Some of my key takeaways. First of all, I love your VICE framework, okay? And here's the deal, guys. When you encounter me, you're going to get some incidental business acumen teaching. When you have a framework in your business, it is a roadmap that not only keeps you accountable, but it keeps your clients, your customers, your consumers accountable. If I just say, hey, let me help you with your mindset, but I don't have a route and a roadmap and a system and a framework, a strategy for you to get there, then I'm kind of going to be all over the place. And she shared with you her VICE framework. Pop quiz. What's the V stand for, guys? Anybody can come off mute and just share it with me. What's the V, y'all? What's the V? Don't look in the chat.
Vision.
Awesome. What's the I?
Intentional.
Oh, let's get it. Somebody been listening. What is the C?
Confidence.
Look at y'all. Okay, so what's the E then, y'all?
Evaluation.
You know what? Somebody been listening today.
Yeah, note taking.
What I am talking about. Okay, they are ready to get it in. So listen, tonight we have a special treat. I am so excited because the one and only amazing Tony Jones is going to be doing a live affirmation with us, healing self.
Oh my God.
Okay, hold on. First of all, go ahead and get it out, y'all. Go ahead and act the fool. Go ahead and act the fool and tell me thank you. Say thank you, LaShana.
I'm sorry. I was about to sit back on mute.
I'm so excited to be here. Woo-hoo!
No, right? So healing self-talk to create your inner outer world, guided meditation. And then we're going to have a little time for Q&A. So think about what you want to ask her. But of course, I still want you to be fully present in the meditation. So what I'm going to do is spotlight and give Tony the ball. Tony, thank you so much for being here, beautiful. And you have the floor.
Okay, can everybody hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. I am very grateful to be with you all. Let me see how many of y'all are in here. Okay, we got quite a few, about 35 people. Okay, I definitely, sorry about that music. A friend is playing music, sorry about that. But I'm honored. Thank you for welcoming me. I am Tony Jones. I'm an affirmation musician. I create affirmation music to help people talk to themselves better. And so I was a life coach for about 7 years, 6-7 years. And, I just was like, God, give me something to help me, help women understand that they can integrate well-being and work ethic together, like integrate them to where they don't compromise each other. And through meditation and prayer, I got the idea of affirmation music. So I created the album Affirmations for the Grown-Ass Woman. And the rest is history, y'all. Like, I'm a full-time musician. It wasn't my dream. It wasn't in my vision board. And I never knew a dream could happen that you never dreamed before. And I was just like, wow. And so, my background is psychology and neuroscience. So I understood the power of words. I understood the power of music. And the example is in the success. This music is going everywhere. And I think what's more important now, since the pandemic has happened, is the highlighting of how we talk to ourselves, the attention on what we say in our minds, the inner critic, the inner narrative. And I'm here to talk to you all about healing the self-talk to create the inner and outer world. And I have to let y'all know, we're going to have a sister moment. I have to let y'all know before we do this meditation, I want you guys to just get present. We're going to take a few deep breaths. We're going to take a few deep breaths to get present with where we're truly at with how we talk to ourselves. I don't know each one of you personally. I don't know what you're working on. I don't know what your trauma is. I don't know what you battle. I don't know what you're creating in your lives for business, for pleasure, for personal, for purpose. But what I do know is that we're all connected. And the more present you are in this meditation, the more I can connect with you all for the words to come through me, to land in the places that are in the crevices of your ego, and the crevices of your mind, and the crevices of your soul and heart, in those inner places. So after I'm gone from sharing space with you today, it'll be somewhere grounded and rooted. These words, these affirmation meditation will be somewhere grounded and rooted within you. Because that's what I'm interested in. Because y'all, your girl is going through it. I wish I could just tell y'all all the tea, but I am astonished the amount of pain that I've had to navigate in the past few months. And so the only way I can show up for us is in a genuine way. And so I want us to not just focus on the self-talk, but also bring our awareness to what we're actually going through in life. Whether you're on the high vibrational range of like manifesting and feeling good about life, or you're on the low range of suffering in silence. No matter where you're at in between, or whether it's on one end of the spectrum, no matter what, today we're going to have a very intimate moment with getting present, with being in integrity, and being an authentic to where we are with our lives and how we talk to ourselves with our present situation. Okay, y'all with me? Okay, all right, let's take a few deep breaths. Usually I have music, but I just want that silence with y'all right now, so we can just connect in a genuine, cohesive way. So let's take 3 cleansing breaths in through the nose, out of the mouth. Let's do another one in through the nose. Out of the mouth. One last one. The nose. Hold. Out of the mouth. And you all can either repeat the words in your mind or just be present and receive the words that I affirm for us on tonight. I am holding space for my mindset. And the way I am holding space for my mindset is being mindful about how I talk to me, how I talk to myself in the morning, how I talk to myself when I find myself being busy and stressed, how I talk to myself in my healing process, how I talk about the social climate, how I talk about frustrations, holding space for my mindset by being mindful of how I speak to me in every season of my life, in every situation that I'm dealing with. I am worthy to hold quality space for my inner communication. Because when I hold worthy space for the way I speak to myself, I get to create a habitat, a vibrational inner habitat to welcome my harvest, to ground in. I know that my mindset is the seed of all that I want to harvest in my life when it comes to my personal finances, my business, my dreams, my pains, my healing journey, the things that I can't control. I get to take a present moment and bring my awareness and my intention to say, this is how I will speak about each area of my life. Because this is where my mindset is curated by the way I speak to myself, verbally, emotionally, and mentally. I'm worthy of this high level of mindfulness. My present moment, my future self is worthy of being sovereign in the way that I speak to myself. So right now I speak to my imagination. I speak to my divine technology of emotions, of feeling, of thinking and speaking. I speak to my divine technology to align right now and forevermore to my highest good, to my well-being, to my divine nature as love. And all abundant promises in my bloodline, in my life, and in my heart, I receive them now. And I use the confession of my word, of my spoken word, to align with that open invitation of yes to my abundance, yes to my prosperity, yes to my highest good, yes to peace, yes to joy, yes to discipline, yes to stillness, yes to the messiness, yes to life. I'm accepting and maturing in the truth that life is complex, that I can't control everything. But what I can control is my inner state, my sovereign state of being an emotional, thinking, and speaking being. This is how I manifest the good stuff. The good stuff being that I'm unwavered in my faith, no matter what happens in my body, no matter what happens in my finances, no matter what happens in society and government and politics and relationships. I get to be sovereign and aligned with taking power over what I want to focus on, because I know that whatever I focus on expands. So I ask myself, what do I want to expand? I ask my heart, what do I want to expand? I ask my mind, what do I want to expand? I ask my soul and intuition, what do I want to expand? And I take gratitude for the clarity to answer what I want to expand. And when I have a clear answer for what I want to expand, I know that's time to get in my bag to focus on only the things that expand, on the things that I desire, on the things that I deserve, on the things that are good, lovely, of good report. I'm cultivating a mindset, a speech, a thought pathology, an emotional practice that's aligned with my divine nature, my biggest being, my highest thoughts. I get to do this, and no one has the power to do it for me. I have the power to steer my inner world. I give myself grace for what I don't know. I give myself grace for the ways that I need to still grow in what I believe in. I give myself quality grace for my journey. There is no need to compare. There is no need to rush. I give myself the permission to be graceful about my journey in business, in emotional maturity, in healing, in speaking highly about myself, in alchemizing my insecurities, in turning my pain into medicine. I get to be graceful with myself in ways no one else ever has. I get to give myself that. I get to give myself grace when my inner critic wants to bully me into doing something fast, doing something the way everyone does it. I get to give myself that grace to say, you got it, girl. You got this. Your pace is your pace. I get to talk to myself in graceful ways as I'll cultivate the mindset to be mindful on how I speak to myself so I can create my inner and outer world that reflects my highest good. This is just the way it has to be. I release all dependency on external systems. I release all my trust in external people and relationships and entities. And I re-engage on a daily basis with the internal faculties that magnetize all that belongs to me in this lifetime. Take a breath there. Feel those words marinate into your being. Feel those words travel into your mind. Feel what it feels like to have those words travel into your finances, travel into your challenges. Feel that right now. Yeah. And I speak ease. I speak ease. I speak rest. I speak diligence over the way I move in my agenda, in my plans. I get to experiment on a daily basis what I want to manifest in my life. That I don't have to be attached to any outcomes. That I get to enjoy the process. And I welcome this new embodiment of being mindful about how I speak about myself, how I entertain conversations, and how I speak in my mind. I welcome this new embodiment to spread and go viral in every area of my life. So it is, and so be it. So it is, and so be it. Thank you all for participating in that. That felt so good to say. And I want to, before we go, I don't know how much more time I have left, but before we go into Q&A, I want to encourage and plead with you all to be steadfast in trusting yourself. Steadfast in setting your boundaries. I can't get into all the juicy details right now, but I'm a living testimony of recovering from not doing that. And it can break you if you don't trust yourself. It can break you if you don't set those boundaries with people you don't want to be have those boundaries with, you know? And so you have a right to be firm about trusting yourself no matter what, and setting boundaries with people and projects and relationships in ways that some people just not gonna understand. Literally, your mental health depends on it. So thank you all for sharing this sacred space with me. You know, it means a lot. I'm in a tender place in my life right now, and it feels good to be able to show up in a way that is authentic to this space, but also authentic to where I'm at in life. So thank you.
Tony. First of all, Tony, thank you for saying yes, even though, you know, you're going through what you're going through. And I think that just speaks to our ability to be resilient and open to learning.
Absolutely.
I'm so excited that you're here. And before we get into Q&A, because I really love letting people release, let's have you guys raise your hand, and I would love to know what came up for you, what resonated, what spoke to your heart. Let's have some shares. Somebody said, "Can I scream now?" And then someone else said, "You on mute, scream all you want to, sis." I thought that was funny. But anyways, all right, let's start with Justice. What would you like to share, sis?
Tony, no, I'm a screamer. Listen. This goddess right here has, even though she's going through her trials and tribulations, she has saved my life. Her words, the very first time I heard F-boys, I had to turn around, look at the TV, because it was on, I think it was on YouTube, and I was like, who is this? Like, every part of me felt that. And the more I listened to her, the more I got into myself. Intimacy is into me. And I'm just forever changed. And I want everybody to say this to themselves. I forgot how dope I was, because we some dope sisters, okay?
Yes.
We got bachelors, masters, doctors. We got it all. But we sometimes put it on the back burner and do whatever and get busy with everything else. But self-love is not selfish. And I love me some Tony Jones. And
thank you, Justin.
I'm just, tonight, I felt at peace. That's my desire so much, because it's chaos everywhere, right?
Yes.
And the inner peace, when I meditate and I breathe right, that's non-negotiable with my boundaries right now. And this sister right here taught me that it's okay to set those boundaries.
Yes.
It's okay to take your time. It's okay to not be okay.
Yes.
Love you, Tony. Thank you so
I
much.
love you too. Thank you for receiving. I appreciate you.
Thank you so much for sharing that, Justice. I see Andrea Boyd, you have your hand raised. What would you like to share? Let's keep it to around 60 seconds so we can get as much as possible. Dre, are you on mute?
Yes.
Hey, love.
Hi, how are you?
Doing great.
Great. I just wanted to tell Tony, I met her probably about 1 month ago to today. Not actually meeting her, but it was in one of those moments of what she's talking about that break. And the first song I heard of hers was Energy Budget. And it was on time. When I tell you, I run a construction company, but I'm this, I'm that, I'm this, I'm that. And we're taught to be strong and we can handle everything. And I was pouring from an empty cup until it got to a point where there was nothing left. And I didn't even see it coming. Yeah. It was like I kept pouring and pouring. And then all of a sudden, it's like putting no oil in an engine. Yeah. And it just showed up. And I was just like, and an Uber driver that was taking me somewhere looked at me and said, sis, I got the song for you. And he gave me your whole playlist that day. And since that day, every morning I have done the each one of your albums, and I have passed it along. If you see any of my things, I always have you attached because the energy that you bring is bringing life. So I hope that we're able to restore some of yours and whatever it is that is going on in your life right now. The energy that you're throwing out be received back to yourself.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Thanks for sharing that, Drea. And I think that's the big thing, y'all. We serve and pour and give and just show up. And the other day I told myself, I said, I need a me. Right? And then I realized I'm not going to find a me. I have to be a me for me. And so while we're doing all the things, do all the things for you. And boundaries is so key. And this is the thing. I don't care if you're a kindergartner or a 99-year-old, we're going to forever struggle with boundaries if we're not aware of how the lack of not having established boundaries are impacting us.
Yes.
So when things like this happen, I know you say you can't speak on it. I say thank you because now I won't repeat it. And now I know how to navigate on the next opportunity.
Yes.
Right? So, all right, y'all, just went on a tangent. Diane, we're going to move to you. Then we're going to share from Rose. What you got for us, Diane?
Hi, Tony. Hi. Oh, my God.
Hi, Rose.
I am just so honored to be here. I met you about 3 months ago when I was really at a bad, low place in my life. And it was really tough because I'm usually the one spilling into everyone, but no one was spilling into me. And when I heard you, I grew up with the Tony Jones, it was a male. And I'm like, well, who is this? And when I say my head spun, you Energy Budget, I went to sleep with you every night for probably about 2 weeks. Wow. That has helped me so much. And I want to thank you just for, you speak from your heart. I feel that. And I'm just very grateful to have you in my space. And I'm grateful to be in your space. I thank you. I've come a long way. I have a long way to go on this 10-month journey that I've been on. And I'm just very, thank you.
Thank you, Rose.
Thank you so much. All right. So now, and that was Diane. I know we got different hands up. Rose, I see you have your hand raised. Did you want to share? And then, guys, we're going to move into Q&A. And so think about what you would like to ask Tony. You have time to think about it right now. And what I'll do, I'll spotlight Tony and you so we can be clear on who's speaking because we got a lot of faces in the place. Rose, you have the floor. Did you want to share what resonated from the meditation? And you might have raised it on accident. Rose, you want to come off mute? All right, she may not want to share. So here's the deal. First of all, thank you again, Tony, for doing that meditation. I'm gonna be honest with you. That was the first time I took a breath today. Can anybody relate? Anybody else? That was the first time you kind of paused and took a breath? Give me a one in the chat. Don't y'all leave me by myself, okay? Exactly, that's what I thought. But seriously, like sometimes we are so on the go, so hustle and bustle. We have to literally pause and get prompted. Take a breath. And breathing is free, y'all. Did y'all know that? It's free. So that is one thing you can do to serve and soothe yourself and take care of yourself just by pausing and breathing. So thank you, Tony, for starting off and setting the tone by doing that. And now what I want to do is have some time for Q&A. So think about, I know guys, y'all listen to Tony a lot. I know I do. Me and my daughter both. Y'all see her picture in Mystical Milan. That's my daughter. So my mentee Nicole's on here. Nicole Johnson. She turned me on to Tony. I turned my daughter on to Tony, and we just Tonying it up, right? And what I love is that if y'all don't know me, my humor, you got to get my humor out. It's all love, okay? So think about what you would like to ask, whether it's a song you listen to or even something that just came up for you today. You can also ask me a question as well. It doesn't just have to be for Tony, but who would like to ask a question? You guys are being very quiet, and let me tell y'all, closed mouth don't get fed. And once we log up off here, you're gonna be like, man, I should have said this, I should have said that. Well, guess what? You can say it right now. So who has the question?
And my apologies, I didn't know it was fellows in here too. So greetings to you all. I know I said something like, you got it, girl, in the meditation. So I just wanted to salute all the fellas in here.
Thank you for that. You're fine. I understand the vibe. They get in. Y'all know what's up. But you know what? Okay, let me just be quiet. All right. Who has a question? Nicole, you better come off mute because you love her music. Nicole, I'm about to put you on the spot.
I'm here. I'm on the spot. Oh my God, I'm so excited that Tony Jones is here. Okay. That energy budget. Oh, I had to put everybody in accountability on. And we were talking about music, and I was like, I'm listening to different types of music. And I said, y'all need to be on the Tony Jones. And then LaShana was playing you in the last meeting, and I was like, I know her. So now I feel like we're in touch. Thank you so much for all your music. Thank you for everything, because I feel like you my homegirl. I've been listening to you for months. That energy budget. Oh, I'm setting boundaries like it ain't no tomorrow. I'm setting boundaries. Talk to me nice. That is how it is when you wake up in the morning and you got all these thoughts and you're like, wait a minute, let me talk to myself nicely. So I'm talking to myself nicely. I'm setting boundaries with people. And thank you so much. And thank you, LaShana, for this connection, because this is good.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I think LaShana's on mute.
Oh, dang, girl, y'all was going ham. So, so thank you so much for sharing that, Nicole. And when I created the Mindset Megafest, I said, when people talk about mindset, they breeze over it real quick for the one time. They be like, oh yeah, that's a mindset problem. Yeah, mindset. And then they get to the next thing. No, we need to really take out time, isolated, carved out, fully present time, and talk about and work through mindset. And so I intentionally chose specific speakers, specific artists, specific therapists, and you'll see some therapists a little later who are going to share and pour into us. And so, Nicole, thank you for sharing, because here's the deal, guys. Sometimes we don't share our goods. We be doing our thing, having a hey time, and we don't share. But when you share, I believe that sharing is caring, and it just makes the whole universe robust, right? Because think about it. Let's think about it. Had I not learned about Tony through Nicole, she wouldn't be here. And a lot of you guys listen to her all the time, And now you get to actually see her in the space, have a live meditation. So that's how things organically flow, which I really love. All right, so we'll move to you, and then we'll move to Jamesia. What you got for us, Will? Will, you available?
Yes, I am here.
Perfect.
Hi. Yes, my question for you was, at what point did you understand how powerful your voice was and you started really using that energy and creating and inspiring a lot more, like taking it to another level?
When did I realize my voice was powerful?
A little bit of understanding the power that you have with your voice, with inspiring other people around,
Yeah, I would definitely say it's been an ongoing realization, because it was by chance when I started writing this. Like it was just I just felt like a full, soulful yes to creating affirmation music. And so I had been writing all my life, but I never valued it to where it's like, oh, let me share this with anybody. It wasn't a thing that I thought of. So once I wrote it and got in the studio and realized I knew how to write a beat, I was like, wait a minute, like this feels great. Like I know how to do this. How do I know how to do this? I don't know, but I'm gonna do this because it feels good. And then so, you know, the album was released, life went completely in. I mean, it was like dropping that album just started a war in my life, you know? And then I'll say like in 2020, because I released my first album in 2019, and in 2020, when I started reading the comments on YouTube and Instagram, I was like, how are people having these powerful transformations by me just being myself? So it was a really like, so since then, it's been an ongoing realization of my own power. I don't feel like I've arrived to a certain point of like, oh, I'm powerful. You know, it's like, wait a minute, I'm powerful. And then it's like, oh, wait a minute, I am powerful. And then it just keeps getting more intensified into my understanding and own realization, and then into me owning it. You know, I think I'm in the phase of like truly owning it unapologetically, but it's definitely been an ongoing journey of realizing my power with words and writing. Thank you for asking.
Thank you. I appreciate you sharing your energy, and I appreciate you allowing me to ask my question. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome, Will. Thank you.
Thank you, Will. Great question. Someone asked about a replay. There is an option for you to purchase a replay. It's just $27. Zariah's been dropping the link in the comments. So if you want the replay, just go ahead and grab it, and it'll be ready within 24 to 48 hours. All right, Jamesia, how are you doing, sis? You have the floor.
So now that I'm able to breathe, I appreciate you guys. I appreciate this whole mindset Megafest is awesome. I'm a life coach as well, but it's always great to be amongst people who are like-minded, and you have carrying that same energy. So first, let me say, when I first started, I was trying to figure out how to get my thoughts together when I was starting my business, how to be strategic and intentional, because we all know if we have a business that it's on us to make it happen. Mm-hmm. And I was on my playlist and I was just like, I need some affirmations. And Tony Jones popped up and I was like, that work ethic. Oh my goodness. I appreciate you tapping into your vein and being a blessing to everyone. You just do not know how much of a blessing that you are. But my question to you is, you have to put yourself in a specific space in order to create the way that you do. What is it that allows you, what do you strategically do to clear your mind to be able to allow those words to come alive the way it does?
That's a good question. I will have to say I won't say that I'm intentional about being in a certain space for those, because the words, if I sat down and just grabbed a pen and paper, I could write a whole album tonight. It just comes out of me. But the biggest thing that I would say that has created a habitat for me to express myself, the word, has been pain and healing. And what I mean by healing is like taking that pain and alchemizing it into medicine that people can use as affirmations, or I can use as lessons. You know what I'm saying? So I would definitely have to say, like, if I was to pinpoint like strategy or intention on how to channel these words, it would definitely be saying, like, just presence, time with myself to think about what I'm going through, what I've gone through, what are my lessons, and feeling the pain. Man, I'm telling y'all, that's been really, I won't say the source of my inspiration, but that has been one of the key ingredients in my work. It's channeling the pain into some type of something creative. I've been annoyed by that dynamic because I'm like, I don't want pain to be, but it's definitely been a part of the recipe for sure. And when you're committed to growth, a life of growth and expansion, it's going to be painful. You know what I'm saying? I've heard a quote that says you can either experience the pain of staying the same or experience the pain of expanding and evolving and changing. And I chose the latter, and it's challenging going from one identity to the next identification. You have to continually expand and grow to your true self, not to become your true self, but to letting go the things that you learned as you that are really not you. And so for me, it's been the pain of that, the pain of healing from things, just life, that has helped me just say, this is what I want to say. This is what I want to put into my music. This is what I want the message to be, because this feels true to me. So Thank you for asking.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Man, that word alchemize, I'm like, whoo, that's a whole masterclass and a whole album just on the word alchemize. It's so powerful. Thanks, Alicia, for sharing that. Rainy, how you doing? Thanks for your patience. What question do you have, sis?
Absolutely. Thank you. And thank you for this evening. Thank you for the Megafest tonight. So hello, Tony. How are you?
Good.
Good. Blessings. So I first definitely was able to connect with you from actually a Londrell station, and it flowed into, and I think I was in my house one day cleaning up, and Yoni was the first one that I heard. That is my absolute favorite. I find myself, I resonate with Yoni a lot. So I really wanted to ask the gentleman who went two persons ahead of me. He asked what I similar wanted to ask as well, was what actually brought you to becoming, an affirmation musical lyricist, if I'm saying that correctly. Lyricist. Thank you. But I truly would love to know, what was the concept when you did create Yoni? What space were you in to allow that to pour out of you, to recognize who you are as a woman? And I ask that because I find myself becoming more into my divine feminine these days. That's why that one particular song, I love Yoni.
Yeah. You should check out the song Pleasure Meditation too. You would like that one as well. It's on the latest album that was released. But what led me to affirmation music was, I said this on the live yesterday with LaShana, was that I started a coaching business back in 2015. And I was going into 2014. And going into 2018, I just felt like my message around self-love and self-care and mental health and things of that nature, I just felt like I was so countercultural. Like I was just, because the culture for women's empowerment and life empowerment for men and women was, you know, get the bag, you know, be a boss bitch, like be a boss. Like it was that was the nature of the culture when it came to empowerment. It wasn't about just your inner well-being, if you will. And so I was feeling exhausted and burnt out from that, trying to bring a message that it felt like nobody really was really into, you know. And so through meditation and prayer, I was just like, God, you gotta give me something to help people understand that well-being is like the bag, like this is where it's at. And that's through meditation and prayer, I got the idea of affirmation music. And so I end up grabbing all my journals, all my notes that I got from retreats and healing seminars that I've been to. And I went to LA for a month and wrote the whole album, Affirmations for the Grown Ass Woman, and wrote that album, released it. And I really released it for my clients. I want my clients to understand that they can practice well-being on the go. But then the music started going all over the world because women were spreading it. Like I didn't have no marketing, no team, and it was just spreading around the world. And I think it took about a year. I realized, you know what? I like this residual income. And I was like, yeah, like I'm gonna close this coaching business because this music feels closer to my heart and my passion. And I like that it's easy for me. You know, I didn't want to work and labor as I was doing with my business. And so it felt less like work with creating the music and creating a business structure around my creativity and my ease. And so that's how I got into the music, and I closed down my coaching business, but I still have a membership. I created a membership group. So it's like group coaching. Justice is in the membership group as well, and helps teach people how to talk to themselves better and whatnot. And so now then Yoni came from, girl, child, that song came, look, fellas, bear with me, but that song came from just reckless decisions in my sexual relationships, just being so attached to being connected, to feeling that connection with another man, to where it was like, I just felt like I couldn't kick the desperation. It was like a cold inside of me. You know, it's like when you grow up in church and you grow up in American society, your whole identity is wrapped around a man choosing you. And so for me, I just was like, I want to awaken to a new embodiment, a new way of respecting my womb and giving a man a real opportunity to rise to a real goddess, you know. And I've been trying to figure that pocket out. So Yoni was like a personal anthem for me to stand in my authority as a woman, to say, hey, it's okay to have sexual desires, but you don't have to sacrifice your integrity, your dignity, your standards, and your boundaries just to have intimate and connection, you know. So Yoni was that way of worshiping and praising my divine nature as a woman, and having a womb that creates human beings. Like, what the heck are we? Like, we create bones in our bodies. So I wanted to give women the permission to just take a moment to adorn like how sacred of a being we are. You know, I'm still a student to that Yoni song, you know, learning the lessons of how to embody my message, you know, in real time with myself. But Yoni was definitely a place where I got to channel my truest desire, how to be with myself in intimacy with men.
Thank you. I resonated very well with that. So thank you so very much for all of that. I absolutely
You're welcome.
Received all of that. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for the question.
You're welcome.
Definitely. All right, we're going to wrap up Q&A with Key. And also, guys, do not forget to share on social, blow up Toni's Insta and her. Make sure you're following her and subscribing on YouTube. She also mentioned that she has a group membership. So if you want to check that out, I'm sure the link is in her bio.
Yeah, on Instagram. Yeah.
Amazing. All right, cool. So Key, we're going to wrap up our Q&A with you. What would you like to ask, sis?
Okay. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I'm out in the store. But Toni, I just wanted to echo, like, everyone understanding how you are just you're a powerful being, and like your words and how you put them together, like they just do something for me. So I met, first time I saw you in person was at the Well event about a month ago in Detroit, and I got your affirmation book then, healing, I think it's Healing in My Heels. All those affirmations on that page, oh my goodness, like from the self-love, this, self-worth, this forgiving yourself, all of that, like I can just go through those and I feel like I'm literally like performing for myself, but like I just kind of like channel something as I'm reading them. So I love them. So get her affirmation book, guys, if you do not have it. So the question that I have is similar to what's been asked about, just you and the flow. Do you ever have times when you feel like your flow is blocked? Like, you feel like it's something inside you want to get out, but you don't know, like it's for the reason, like it's not coming out as in an organized fashion, or times where you have just so many things that are going on, like, just feelings that you're having, and how do you get those and group them together, just trying to get them organized. I find myself like in that state of like, I'm waking up in the middle of the night, just writing, this stuff is coming out. And then I was like, okay, how do I kind of package this up and all that, because it's a lot. So one is like from organizing your thoughts, but then the second thing, like if you do ever have those times where you feel blocked, like how do you move past that?
Okay, so when you talk about organizing thoughts, are you talking about creativity and ideas?
Yes.
Okay, so organizing my thoughts, it's very important for me to breathe, and have a and also the website, they put a website link in here. It's actually IamTonyJones.com. That's my main website, IamTonyJones.com. But that website is the link to the membership that she just posted. So to answer your question, organizing my thoughts, breathing helps, clear space helps, and just feeling centered, it's just like, it's something about just making sure that whatever space you're in, that you have some quiet and stillness. Meditation helps tremendously when it comes to organizing my thoughts. Like the word that comes to me to answer that question is just clarity. It's like, if I feel like my schedule is cluttered, if my car is cluttered, if my purse is cluttered, if I have paperwork cluttered, like just clearing space for me to just be. Like, some people have different lifestyles, that are parents, that are wives, husbands, and so on. Clear time for your mind. Just like we brush our teeth every day, we need to maintenance our minds every day. Y'all, I cannot tell y'all how much I emphasize that now more than ever. You have to ritualize ritualize taking care of your mind on a daily basis. You must, especially during this time, because there's so much that is preying on our attention and our mental focus. So organizing my thoughts for me is just clearing space, whatever it is, wherever there's clutter in my time, in my agenda, wherever there's clutter, I'm clearing space to organize my thoughts. Now, when I have mental blockages and things like that, it's because I'm having emotional blockages. So those are only times if I'm going through a traumatic experience, or I'm trying to hold on to or control something, is when I have blockages. And 9 times out of 10, like, I shut everything down. I really just shut everything down. And I ask spirit to show me, who can I lean on to get help to support me emotionally? So I can, again, clear space, so I can hear spirit. Like right now, I'm on a heart sabbatical. Now I'm at a healing house. Now just clearing the energy, so I can get clear about how I want to move forward in my life. You know what I'm saying? Because it's been a lot that's happened in the past few months, a lot that's happened in the past year and a half. All my thoughts are all over the place right now. So right now I'm at a healing house, being taken care of, and I'm just want to hear my own mind and hear spirit just give me direction on how I need to move. So whatever that looks like for you, I'm not saying I'm the blueprint on how to clear space. Whatever that looks for you, do it so you can have clarity in mind, because that's where your peace is.
Thank you so much for that.
You're welcome.
Wow. So Tony, I know we went over a little bit. Thank you for giving us.
No, it's okay.
And thank you for being here while you're at a healing house. I think that speaks volumes to you just serving in what you know is good for you, because sometimes, guys, serving can be to a deficit, it can be to a detriment, it can start to be toxic. So you got to have balance, you got to have boundaries. But Tony's seen it fit for her to be here today. So I want to thank you. I have one last question. Where can we find the link to the affirmation book? Is it on Amazon? Is it on your website?
Yes, it is on my website, iamtonyjones.com. Bear with me.
Okay.
I won't be back home to fulfill those, for my team to fulfill those orders till the end of this month. So, but they're definitely up on my website, iamtonyjones.com. That's Tony with an I. So if you order today or you want to order 2 weeks from now, it's up to you. But they're all on my website at iamtonyjones.com. I'm just taking care of myself right now. So while I'm off work, so.
Most definitely.
But thank you for having me. It felt good to give an honest yes to this. So thank you.
Yay. Can we give Tony some love? Come off camera, give her some sparkle, twinkle fingers like we used to do in kindergarten, y'all. Twinkle
Thank
fingers.
you.
All right.
Thank you. Peace. Good night, everybody.
Wow, man, that was so good. Y'all, we're going to move into our thoughtful therapy panel. I have my homeboy Bashay and also Arian. Well, I'm going to spotlight us all. We're moving right through because, as you guys know, I'm not going to say time is money because I don't believe that, but time is of the essence, okay? All right, so we're moving to our thoughtful therapy panel. And the reason why I wanted to do this is because sometimes therapy can be taboo. There's myths, there's all these stereotypes. And I just want to have two beautiful people share with us about therapy, their role and their walk as a therapist. So we'll start with having you guys introduce yourself, and then I'll be asking you guys some questions, and I would love for you guys to put your questions in the chat, those in the audience, so we can literally learn and earn with my brother and my sister. Ariel, we're going to start with you. Please introduce yourself for the people.
All right. Hi, everyone. Good evening. My name is Ariane Camille. I am a psychotherapist out of Georgia. I've been working privately for the past 2-3 years throughout the pandemic. And my main focus right now is to pour into entrepreneurs and cultivating emotionally well entrepreneurs. So my main focus is to help you guys identify 4 key components to being emotionally well in entrepreneurship, which I call hype. And hopefully I can explain more about that later on this evening. And yeah, I'm just really here to build wellness, remind you guys of how important it is to be well as you guys, cultivate your lives. So.
Definitely. Thank you so much. And yeah, as we wrap up, we definitely want to hear about hype. So do not let me forget that. Bashay hailing from DC. What's up, my brother?
Hey, what's going on, y'all? I'm Paul Bashay Williams, licensed clinical social worker and a psychotherapist. I am in the DMV area. I own and operate Heart to Mind Counseling, where we provide free therapy to African Americans in Montgomery County. Right now, we have about 400 residents of that county, African American, that are receiving weekly sessions through my practice. So it's been a dope movement. I'm also the author of Dear Future Wife, A Man's Guide and a Woman's Reference to Healthy Relationships. I like to focus on the man in the relationship, but I love everything about relationships. So I do a lot of stuff around that. Me and my wife, we own and operate When Love Aligns. This is a whole ministry. We talk about healthy singleness, healthy relationship, how to do a lot of relationship recovery, all those good things. So if you want to know about relationships, you want to talk about relationships, I love it.
Yes, make sure you're following both of them. Zariah will drop their their ats in the chat. So first of all, I don't know if you've seen me and Ariane's response when you said, I offer free therapy. I'm like, where they do that at? That is so freaking dope.
Yeah. We've been doing it for it started last June. A company reached out to me and we just set up a contract. Of course, my clinicians are getting paid, and I have maybe about 15 contractors in the area, and all Black clinicians. And we are just, giving our people what we need and meeting them where they are. We do all telehealth. Some people have the offices open, but it's been just a dope and amazing situation, and people are responding. I created mental health on my block where we actually go into communities who don't know about therapy. And so I have a DJ, I have music, we do mock sessions, we do a whole bunch of different things for the community, and they actually expanded it. And now another division of the contract, they're providing free medical care, free dentistry, anything you could think of. It's just essentially free Black health, all by Black physicians and clinicians.
Oh, I love it. Mental health. You're going to have to bring that to Atlanta. That's another conversation. So, all right, guys, I want to ask you, what is the biggest myth about therapy or going to a therapist? And I want you to literally debunk the myth that you know exists out there. Whoever wants to jump in first can go.
I can let you go first.
Okay. One myth I hear a lot is, well, I think that they're going to talk about, you know, something that I've already been through. Like I'm already over that. So I really don't want them to bring this part up. And I hear that all the time. Like, well, I'm not going through that anymore. So I don't really feel like I need to go to therapy. And I think that that is a myth. You know, your therapist, one, is going to discuss and target the topic in which you are prepared and want to discuss. So whatever is on the top of your mind is where they're going to go. And, you know, I also think it's a myth that our past experiences don't show up in our daily, regardless if we are quote unquote healed. And I use quotes for that because I have a I have a weird relationship with the term heal. So yeah, like things show up. We are made up of our experiences. So yes, you may not be ready to talk about a certain topic, and that is okay to discuss with your therapist. And let's not assume that they're going to put you in a place where you're not going to feel safe. So I think that the myth is, if I go to therapy, they're going to talk about or want me to talk about this thing that I don't want to talk about. And I think that's a myth. If they are an exceptional therapist, then they will not probe conversations that you're not ready for.
Got you. I love that. And Sharice, fellow licensed clinical social worker, said all the therapists will do is just sit and listen. That's a myth that she hears a lot. You go by Pache or Bache or Paul? I want to make sure
Bache is good.
Okay, cool. What do you got for us?
So I'll talk about the men. A lot of men think therapy is for, like, if you're weak. Therapy is not really helpful. Therapy is for crazy people. You always have to be in the middle of crisis to go to therapy. That's another myth. You don't have to be going through anything crazy or anything traumatic to go to therapy. We've also heard that therapy is just for white people. It's not for us. It's not for our community, which is so untrue. And therapy is not new to us. If we really think about it, historically, we've always had somebody in our community that we could go to, right? So now we're in a clinical space. Now we have some people who are licensed and trained to help you process some different things in a safe space, right? Because sometimes we go to Big Mama, we go to Uncle Ray, and they might share it with Aunt Tina or your mother or whatever that is. Therapy is legally and ethically you're protected in those spaces. So it's not a space where we hear what you say. We, like you said, we don't listen and then we go share with someone else. That's not how it works. And yeah, therapy, and it's about you. Like, you are literally driving the seat, right? We're just here to help you assist. So, and also we won't, I think a lot of people think that you go to therapy, you're automatically going to put on medication. Like, you automatically have this diagnosis. You always have to carry this diagnosis wherever you go. But there's so many different processes that we go through when you're talking about being in therapy.
And I'll just share this, guys. I would love it when therapy is proactive instead of reactive. And it's not as a punishment, but it helps you in your purpose. Because think about it. When you're in crisis, if you don't have a therapist or a pastor or a big mama or whoever to confide in, you're kind of scrounging and the crisis intensifies. But imagine if you already have a support system established, You ain't got to get on Google. You ain't got to get on Psychology Today and get on the list and go through the motions, because you were proactive versus reactive in your pursuit of getting support. And like Bashe said, you don't have to be in crisis. You don't have to have had something so traumatic to get a therapist. And this conversation is not for you to go get therapy. It's for you to be more informed and better educated. So if it's an option, you don't automatically go to what you've heard through the grapevine or even heard through your family. Oh, you in therapy? What's wrong with you? Oh, you crazy? You need to go to therapy. That's sometimes the things that are partnered with therapy. But you're right. We've been going to therapy. Church, calling your bestie, all you're doing is venting and sharing how you feel. And hopefully the person on the other end is objective. They're giving you feedback. They're affirming, but they're also holding you accountable, right? So I see some things going on in the chat. If you guys have any questions for Bashe and Ariane, let me know. My next question to you guys is this. What made you get into the profession that you are in?
Okay, I'll go. I grew up with a mother who had times and battles with depression and anxiety. So growing up, I would hear my mom, she would explain it as I was a child, like, okay, well, mommy has to take her happy pills, right? Mm-hmm. And that's kind of how she explained the different mood changes that she was going through. And I just watched the positive effects of medication. And once I started really like growing up and understanding what was going on, as a elementary school student, I was in this peer-to-peer program where I was like diffusing arguments on the playground, and I was taught how to, put out fires and how to articulate feelings and things like that. So a big part of not just the things that I learned, but also the relationships that I seen amongst my family members. I'm a product of entrepreneurs. And that's why entrepreneurship is really passionate for me, because I've also watched, the CEOs and the bosses of my family not have a safe place to process their own personal feelings as they took on the responsibility of caring for their families. Mm-hmm. So I just really felt connected to therapy at a very young age, before I could even name what it actually was. So I've always been a great listener. I've always felt like people have more to say than just their reactions. Yes. And I've always been curious to how people are wired. So neurology is a really big part of like my practice, and how people's brains operate and how trauma kind of impacts their brains and their neurons is really important to me as well. So yeah, that's kind of my story.
Thanks for sharing.
Well, very, very similar to your story. I was introduced to the therapeutic process at a young age. I grew up in what we call a hood, like predominantly low income communities, whether it was one time where we had low income and then my mother moved to a property manager, but regardless, I lived in those environments. So I saw a lot of different things. Like we saw violence, drugs. I had family who were runners for the mafia. I had families who, a family member who died from heroin. I had, alcoholics in the family. We just had a lot of different trauma, not only just in my family, but outside my family in the communities that I lived. So there was one time where my mother, she brought in a social worker to hold groups for the boys because to try to keep us out of trouble. So I used to sit in the back with my hood on and sit in the back with my arms closed and try to, just stay away and just watch. But the social worker would always call me up to the front because he saw something. And then I would be forced to leave while it was being annoying, but I felt it was empowering too, because I found my voice. Mm. So as I continue to get older, I needed to process some of the things that I have experienced. Right. And I had anxiety. I went to college to play basketball, a D1 scholarship. And then before the first time meeting the coach, I had an anxiety attack and I had no idea what that was. Mm-hmm. And so I thought their issue was basketball. And so I said, I will not play basketball again. But then I understood that it was anxiety and I had to get a grasp of that. And once I did that, some other teammates had that experience, relationship stuff, and everybody always came to me with their stuff. And I'm always, like you said, solving problems or just listening. And then I was like, you know what? let me go into the field because this is calling me. And it didn't, it also helped that before I was making the decision to become a therapist, my sons, you know how kids have the imaginary friend's name? And he had no idea what I did because he was like maybe 3 or 4. He said, "You have my imaginary friend." I said, "Who's your imaginary friend? What's the name?" He said, "His name is Therapy." So I was like, "All right, so yeah, there we go." I was like, you can't deny
That's
stuff like
wild.
that. It's just like, yeah. So from that, I was just like, yeah.
Yeah, that's lit.
Is Therapy still his homeboy?
Nah, he's 17 now, so he don't talk to nobody that's not there anymore.
Love it. Hey, listen, ain't nothing wrong with it. Ain't that right? Oh, my bad. All right. So Justice said therapy works. Just had major breakthroughs that is allowing me to take better choices for my well-being. Finding a therapist of color made me able to be honest about what is going on in my life. So my last question, because I know Bashay has to run, and then I'm gonna wrap up with you, Ariane, because you wanted to share about your height framework. My last question is this: can Black folks have an effective therapeutic experience with someone outside of their nationality, race, etc.? What are your thoughts on that?
Bashay, you can answer that.
Sure, I believe they can. It's sometimes they come into the roadblocks though, because a lot of times we have to explain our experience before people to get it. So it can happen. I've known some people who've seen people outside of their race, nationality, and had some breakthroughs. But I've also heard that they had some blockages as well. So they might have a breakthrough and then they feel like they're stagnant. They can't get to the next level, and they feel like the connection isn't there. So I don't want to discredit, someone who isn't the same race as me, but I also want to encourage us to explore ours, because we're also, getting more involved and really understanding we have the same experiences, have the same community. So it's an opportunity to explore one or the other or both. I know some people who had, in one space, they might have a white clinician, and in another space, they might have a Black clinician. I think what the beautiful thing about it is about choice. You get to choose what works best for you.
Exactly. Yeah, I completely agree with that. And when you're talking about choice, Bashay, I think about wanting to empower, the audience here to choose their therapist. And I say, you're hiring somebody for a service. So never get nervous for asking questions or interviewing them. Like if someone's building on your house, you're not going to just go with the first person. You're going to ask them questions. You're going to evaluate. You're going to make sure that they are qualified for the job. So I really just want to empower you guys, regardless if you're going to a Black therapist or someone outside of your nationality. Ask them the tough questions. Ask them about Black Lives Matter. Ask them about things that are important to you so that you can feel comfortable, because the benefit that I have about sharing this space with my Black women is that they come with their bonnets on, like we be kicking stuff. We could talk about the BET Awards or something crazy that Kanye did. Like we can really connect on that level. So just be mindful about what you're looking for. I've had some great experiences with some white clinicians. Actually, one of my supervisors is a white woman, and she always challenges me to bring race up with my clients, even though they're Black. And I'm like, wow, sometimes I don't even think about that, and I'm like, yeah. So it's all about perspective and about what you need in the moment. So,
most definitely. So listen, I would love to chat with y'all all night long, but I know it's getting late and I know I promised a certain time. So this is what I would love. If you guys can let everybody know where to find you, and we'll let Bashay go first because he has to roll out. And then Ariane, our next session is at 8:15, but I know you want to share about your hype method. So I'm gonna give you a little slither. So I'll have you share about that. And then you could also share where people can find you. So what you got for us, Bashay?
First, thank you for allowing me to be in this space and sharing this space with everyone. But you can find me at BashayWilliams.com. You can find me on Instagram at Bashay Williams. My wife and I's movement is on When Love Aligns on Instagram, WhenLoveAligns.com. My practice is Hearts in Mind Counseling.com, when you'll see a whole bunch of Black faces out there and Black clinicians, and then other resources as well. But pretty much everywhere Bashe Williams is. My book is on Amazon, on my website as well.
Amazing. And guys, he was talking fast. When love aligns. I just love the name.
Yes.
So tap in. Zariah's gonna drop the links. Again, thank you so much, Bashe, for connecting, and we'll have to do it again when we got a little bit more time. That sound good to you?
Yes. I told you I did too many yesterday. I didn't practice my self-care or boundaries. So yeah.
It was great meeting you, Bashe.
You too. All right, y'all.
See you soon.
Thank you so much. All right. So sis, you got exactly 2 minutes to share about
Okay. So if anybody owns a business in here, you know the responsibility that you're carrying as you are building your legacy. And I want to encourage you all to incorporate these 4 things into your wellness plan. You're planning to get the bag, but I want you to also plan to be well while you're getting the bag. So the H is for hype. I want you guys to write this down. Find a safe haven, okay? The H is for haven. The Y is for yield. Practice taking a pause in your daily routine, similar to what we learned today. The P is for perspective. Your perspective is not always enough to take your business where you want it to go and to take your wellness where you want it to go. Okay. So the P is for perspective and the E is for engagement. Pay attention to how you are engaging with yourself. How are you engaging with your customers? How are you engaging with social media? You just want to really pay attention to your energy and how you're sharing that outside of your body. So those are the 4 tools that I think all entrepreneurs need to be well. A safe haven. You need to learn how to yield. Checking your perspective, and check on how you're engaging outside of yourself.
Woo, girl, you did that in like 27 seconds.
That's the hype. Y'all just you can follow me on Instagram. It's at Emotional Exchange on Instagram. You can join my Facebook group from the link in my bio. I would love to see you guys there so I can continue to pour into y'all and give you guys a safe space.
Amazing. Thank you so much. I know that was quick and easy, quick and dirty. And next time, y'all, let me tell you about the next Mindset Megafest. We're going to be having one in person, okay? 2023, I'm going to be planning a Mindset Megafest in person. But one thing that I want to share really quick before we move to our next speaker, if you've been having an amazing time tonight, give me a 7 in the chat. I just want to get a pulse check real quick for the one time. See how we've been doing. You can literally touch your pulse too like that. You can be like, okay, let me feel my pulse. Your pulse probably like boom, 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 right? So July 30th and 31st, I am having an Accountability on Demand live summit. You could be live in Atlanta, Georgia with us. Pull up on us. I see a lot of people already got their ticket. Or you can get a virtual ticket and view it from YouTube. So what I'm going to do tonight only is give everybody 50% off a ticket, whether you want to come live in person or if you want to be online. And Zariah's dropping in the link. So what is Accountability on Demand? Balance, business, and branding. I'm a business therapist and I help entrepreneurs pinpoint the mindset blocks that are stopping them from scaling. This whole night has been about mindset. And when your mindset is distorted, when it is skewed, when it is not aligned, that is when you start to overthink, overanalyze, anxiety, depression, the whole 9 goes through the roof because you haven't pinpoint the root. We might know what the issue is, but where did the issue come from? Where did it stem from? Childhood, unresolved trauma. Maybe there was some discord at your 9 to 5 and it turned into just some crazy stuff. I see y'all looking. I think I'm talking to somebody, but that's the thing. That's what I specialize in. And so July 30th and 31st, I'm having a live event here in Atlanta. And if you can't come, you could tune in virtually. So we're going to drop the links. We're going to drop the codes. I want you guys to be there, but it's almost like this, but add a layer of business acumen and branding in addition to the balance. That's all what AOD Live is about, okay? So are you guys excited for our next speaker? We are going to get into some healing. Let me get some 7s in the chat if you guys are ready for our next speaker. He is the healing coach. I'm so excited to introduce him. I met him a couple years ago when I first moved to Atlanta. And when I tell you, he is the most authentic, realest dude that I've met. And I had to have him come and share with us tonight. We are going to learn about how to identify to heal. And we have Jovan J. Palmer. You got the floor. I'm going to spotlight you, family. How you doing?
I'm great. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, cool. I got these headphones in, so I have to make sure you can hear me loud and clear. What's going on, good people? As LaShana said, my name is Jovan J. Palmer. I am identified as the healing coach. And we're going to talk about how to identify and also how to get to your healing journey. As you all know, mental health is like the biggest thing, especially within our community nowadays. And I'm excited that mental health is a big thing for the Black community. Why? Because I know what it's like to go years without getting to my healing part. So I'm going to share a little bit of my journey real quick, and then I'm going to get into some tips for you as well. So 12 years old, I was molested as a boy through my whole life off. I did not know who I was. I lost my identity. I had confusion regarding my sexuality. I had confusion regarding, who I was as a boy, transitioning into a man. I wound up developing a porn addiction because I was taught, as a kid, like, if you don't watch porn, you're not a man. So I'm doing things that men do. So as I'm moving along this journey and everything like that, I'm really trying to understand who I am and how do I identify myself. So long story short, I was working in a group home with some teenage boys, took them to therapy one Tuesday night. And a lot of the kids I was able to identify with because they have gone through the same exact thing that I have gone through in life, which was a traumatic experience of being molested. So they're talking to the therapist. This is my first time actually interacting with a therapist, truth be told. I was 27, 28, 29, sometime around that age. And they were just expressing themselves. And they were really just unpacking all the trauma that they have gone through as young teenage boys. And I'm like, yo, that has to be a liberating feeling to be able to just finally tell somebody what you've been going through. So after the boys had stepped out of the room, I had said, hey, can I just, I would love to talk to you because I've got some similarities going on. And I would love to just talk to somebody because I've never talked about it before. So I'm sit down, I want the full experience. I go into the room, I have my session, I go into the room, I lay on the couch. Everything I see on TV, that's what I went to go get. I'm sitting there laid out, my shoes kicked off. I'm like mad comfortable. But at the same time, I'm super nervous because, like I said, this is the first time I'm actually sharing my journey with anybody in the world. No one has ever known that I was molested besides my ex-girlfriend in college when she, pretty much encouraged me to tell my parents about the molestation part. But they didn't know about, me actually living a life of homosexuality for a short period of time. They didn't know about, me, all the randomness that I was doing, trigger warning, y'all, my story could be a little triggering for some people, just a little FYI. They didn't know about, me just doing a lot of random stuff and secretive stuff behind, family respect, because I just thought that I did not know who I was. And I've been in search of who my identity and how to identify with who I truly am. So therapy was like the main source, was the key to pretty much me identifying. And this is how you identify the things that you've gone through. I always tell people all the time, men, boys, girls, get you one of these. It's a journal. Oh, you can't see it. Dang. It's a journal. Get you a journal. I journal daily because it allows me to get out everything that I've been going through throughout that day. As an entrepreneur, as a Black man, as a brother, as a sibling, as a friend, as a son, you have to get away from everything that you've gone through. So this is how you identify your exact trauma, what you've gone through. So I had to identify what mine was, which was my molestation, my life of homosexuality, the adulthood trauma that I put myself through, my childhood traumas, and everything like that. So a few tips on how to identify your traumatic experience. Go back into your childhood. First thing is to just go back into your childhood. Just date yourself back to the earliest moment that you can remember. A lot of people, of course, we don't remember our birthing because, we're still young and we're still developing. But if you can go back to the age 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and just kind of relive, your life and ask yourself, did I experience anything traumatic? Because a lot of times we think that we don't experience trauma at all, and we do. It can be something that happened to us, or it can be something that happened to, a close family member that affected us. It's not always direct. So when you think about trauma, you think about what happened, it's not always a direct thing that happened to us. but it's also something that happens around us. You think about the whole Black Lives Matter situation. That is something that's happening around us, but it also affects us as African-American men and women. It also can affect our allies as well. You have to ask yourself, is that traumatic to me? Is it touching my heart? Is it, keeping me up at night? Is it have me worried? Is it have me looking over my shoulder at night, or during the day, wherever it may be? Trauma isn't just a thing that just happens. It could be, a actual, if you go through a hurricane and you lose everything, that's a traumatic experience. People hear trauma, they just think like it's just something that you just got brutally beat, you got something, handed down to you, but that's not everyone's story. Everyone's story and trauma is different. So if someone tells you you haven't faced a traumatic experience and you think that you have, you have. Your story is your story, and your story is your story that you need to live through. I live my life and I walk boldly in everything that I shared you all. There's a point in time in my life where I could not share this story without trembling or stuttering over my words at all. Now I'm so free because I freed myself and I was able to identify what I've gone through. So to identify your trauma, like I said, you got to date yourself back. Go back to just ask yourself, when did things happen? When did things happen the right way? When did things happen the wrong way? And as you're dating yourself back, I'm gonna let you know now, you may not be ready for what you're about to date yourself back for. I was talking to a young lady the other day. She said, yo, that journal thing, I hear you, I feel you, but I'm not ready for that because it's going to reveal some things that I'm not ready for. Before I heard somebody talking about how to identify a therapist, everything they said is spot on. Be okay with interviewing your therapist because you need to make sure that you find the perfect match for yourself so that you can understand that the person that is going to help you and walk you through this journey, they understand exactly what you've gone through. There's therapists who specialize in things specifically in what you go through. Like we hear the word niche in business, but there's also therapists who have niche inside of therapy. My therapist, she specializes in trauma. I'm in school right now to become a trauma therapist right now. Get my master's in social work right now because I really want to understand how does trauma affect us as children, young adults, and as in our adulthood. Because what happens is you carry everything that you never identify about yourself into your adulthood, and you wonder why you have these patterns. So I'm talking about patterns right now. Another thing is also recognize your patterns. You identify your trauma through your patterns. Why do you go back to the abusive situations? When someone says, yo, I love you, I love you, I love you, but also they're beating and tearing you down. That's a pattern of trauma. Why do you go to an abusive situation when, your mom has cussed you out as a kid, and then you continue to go on throughout life and she still cuts you as an adult, and you just keep on going back? That's an abusive pattern of trauma. A lot of times people don't realize that we can like trauma and don't even recognize, don't know it. I was watching a video, I think a couple of days ago, Sean T was talking about how he felt he let his abuser down. You know who Sean T is? He's a fitness guru. And he was abused around the same age as me. And he was saying that he felt that he let his abuser down because his abuser stopped abusing him when he had his first orgasm. Now, if you think about it, you would ask yourself, like, why would somebody want to keep going back to an abuser? You have to understand, as a child, you're still developing your mind. You're still developing your body. You're still developing, who you are as individuals. So you're still trying to find your identity as a child. And if all you've identified with was trauma after trauma after trauma after trauma, that's all you know. But the good thing is about life is that there's people, there's therapists, there's coaches, there's people like myself, and Sean, and everyone that you've heard from this for the past few hours that can help you identify that, what you think is right is not normal. Trauma is not normal. A lot of us think, oh, this is part of our normal life, that the things that we do. It's normal. It's not normal to experience trauma back to back to back to back to back. Yes, correct. Distorted thoughts. You will start thinking that it's right. So I want everyone to kind of just journey with me real quick. I want you to close your eyes real quick. Just close your eyes for me. I want to take you on a journey. Imagine yourself walking down this street by yourself. You're walking, the weather's nice, you have on your favorite pair of shoes, you have on your favorite song, whether it be gospel, jazz, hip hop, and all of a sudden somebody stops you and asks you, can I walk with you? And as you're walking, you say, yeah, sure, I can use some company. And as you're walking, they ask you a question. Who are you? And you ask yourself I'll ask you this question right now. Who are you in real life today? Do you know who you are? Do you know that there's a large percentage of adults who don't know how to answer that simple question as to who are you? I ask this question a lot on my podcast, and a lot of people get stumbled over this question because they don't know who they are because they've been going through the motions of life. In the chat, I want you to answer that question real quick. Who are you? Because sometimes it's hard to identify who you are. You've gone through trauma because you identify with the trauma. For the longest part of my life, I thought I was trauma. That's all I thought. I thought, woe is me all the time. I thought that, everyone is always against me because of what I was going through. I thought nobody understood me. I couldn't trust anybody. You have to identify all that stuff, your trust issues. How do you reestablish trust? That takes a lot of work to reestablish trust. Because as a young person, if you've gone through something traumatic, I love that. I am enemy, I am queen, I am healing, I am sacred, I am divine, I love it. So you have to, if you're going through this journey, you have to make sure that you're not identifying with the trauma all the time, but also identifying with the healing side of you. Ask yourself, what does healing look like for you? Healing may be taking a walk every day to clear your mind. Healing may be going to the gym. Healing may be, climbing up mountains. Healing may be crying. I know for a lot of us Black men in here, we act like crying is a sign of weakness. It's not. It's a sign of healing. When a Black man cries, it's a sign of healing. When a Black woman cries, it's a sign of healing. You have to be able to identify all the things that society has said is not right for a Black man to do, or that's not right for a Black woman to do. It actually can be right. Being weak as a Black man is healing. Being weak as a Black woman is healing. Not being so independent all the time is healing. My new slogan that I tell you all the time, vulnerability is the new sexy. If you can be a vulnerable individual, you be a sexy individual. Oh, that is definitely going on a shirt. It's definitely going on a shirt for sure. I'm working on it now. But vulnerability is the new sexy. My thing, when you start healing, all of those negative patterns, all that negative stuff that you once heard of in life, it all goes out the window. If anybody follows me on Instagram, y'all been seeing something new with me lately. My shirt has been off all day, every day. All day, every day, because I've been freeing myself through my healing journey. I've been freeing myself from no longer caring, because my molestation coach told me that I need to cover up my body. My molestation told me that I can't share who I am with somebody. But through therapy and through understanding who I am and loving myself, when I started to say, Jovan, I love you. I talk to myself every day, Jovan, I love you. I look myself in the mirror, Jovan, I love you. Man, I'm so proud of you, dude. You come a long way. And my shirt, if you go on Instagram right now, you probably see about 2-3 videos of my shirt off. You probably see it off again next week. Like, because what happens with trauma is you cover up any and everything that you hidden from the world, because that's what happened with your trauma. My body was abused as a kid. So I hid my body from the world by wearing big clothes, by wearing dark clothes, by, shying away from people. I identified that. And once I identified that, I had to heal that part of my life. So identify the things that what are you trying to cover up? Ask yourself, what are you covering up? What am I covering up that I'm trying to hide from the world? What you don't realize is this. The very thing that you are hiding is the door that opens up somebody else's healing. I've realized that when I took my shirt off, my DMs were flooded. When I started telling my story about my molestation, my DMs got flooded, my emails getting flooded. When I started talking my story about homosexuality, flooded. Your trauma and your healing is connected to somebody else's healing. So I want you to identify the trauma that you've gone through. I want you to get the healing that you need. I want you to identify and heal. That's what it's called, identify and heal. You identify it, you start healing it. Now I'll tell you one thing. You are never going to be healed. Never. You're going to live with the memories of everything that happened to you for the rest of your life. That's why the ing is added, healing. It's a continual journey. It's a continual journey. Trust me, I have flashbacks to this day of what happened to you. You ask me, I'm not going to tell you right now, but it's because it's a little graphic. But you say, Jay, what happened to you when you were molested? I tell you what it smelled like. I tell you what it looked like. I can tell you what it felt like. That's how traumatic my situation was. And that's how traumatic trauma can be. where you can date back to when it happened. If I had a what do you call those people? The sketch artists for the police, and they want to do the sketching and stuff like that. I can literally point out the place where it happened in my parents' bedroom when that guy had me in there bent over. I can point out when the guy had me bent over in my grandmama's room, my grandmother's house. That's how I'm telling you. Trauma does never leave you. It's embedded in your DNA. But the good thing is when you start healing, that trauma no longer can be carried over to the next generation. But you got to do it now before you start bringing in little babies and little boys and girls to this world. Do it now. Start your healing journey today. I don't care how you started. All I care about is when. And the when needs to be yesterday, truth be told. It needs to be yesterday. Your healing is connected to somebody else's healing. You think about it, I'm here today not by accident. I'm here by choice because I know this story is going to set somebody free. I'm here by choice because I want you all free. You're here for a reason. Yeah, some of y'all probably pulled up because you know, LaShana, yeah, that's your homegirl. But deep down inside, there's some work that you all need to do. I still got work to do. I just left therapy today. Me and my mom's got to have a tough conversation tomorrow. A tough conversation, but I'm ready for it because I've done the work. There's work that we all have to do. There's some conversations that you got to have with some people. Identify those people you got to have conversations with. My mom is one of them. My dad is one of them. A sibling is one of them. A cousin is one of them. A friend is one of them. Think back. Identify some people that you need to have some tough conversations with. Talk to your therapist, talk to your coach and say, yo, how do I have this conversation with these people? I prepared myself today. I went to therapy early today to prepare myself for tomorrow's conversation with mom. I know it's not going to be a pretty conversation. Identify to heal, y'all. Thank y'all for the time.
Oh man, listen. Let's give it up for Jovan's clap. Give him the smiley fingers. Yo, Lady Ty said you in the vein, and you was definitely in the vein. The way you said, and I'm ready, just sent chills because it just shows that you've done your work to where you are super confident and ready and in position to have the conversation that you need to have. And thank you for being vulnerable and sharing your story because you didn't have to. Like, guys, when we speak, we have the decision to tell as little, as moderately, or as much as we want. And he has shared with us his story because I guarantee there's a few of us who literally have been motivated to either A, do our inner work, share our story, or at least think about it because we've been putting it off, compartmentalizing it, and just setting it on a shelf thinking that it's just going to open up by itself. No, you have to make the decision. So again, thank you so much, Jovan. Let everybody know where they can find you at, okay?
Absolutely. You can catch me on Instagram, Jovan J. Palmer. Same as I spell my name, just added J to the middle. You can also catch me on Living Blessed the podcast on all streaming platforms. You can catch LaShana's episode. It was a dope episode. We had a great one, so definitely check her episode out. And you can also text me 404-476-6780. Text me the word heal or affirmation. I send out daily messages of hope and affirmation every day, 10 a.m. EST.
Wow. Say that text number one more time because you said it so fast. And
I'll put in the chat to 404-476-6780. That's 404-476-6780. You can text me the word heal or affirmation.
Perfect. And he texts every single day. I'm on his text list and it be coming right on time. So thank you again, Jovan. We appreciate you. I wanted to do a quick 5-minute check-in with everybody because I know that, we've been learning and earning all night long, but I want to make sure we can decompress our thoughts. So let me hear from a couple people who have not shared tonight yet, okay? I want to hear from a couple of you. What's been resonating? What are you enjoying? Anything you want to share? Raise your hand and let's get it. Don't be shy, y'all. Y'all want me to start calling on y'all? Because I will. And since you have the beautiful smile on the face, Will Spindle, let me know what's been resonating for you. Like, because I know it looks like you're at work, but you're still tapped in. How are you feeling, and what's resonating for you tonight, Will?
So I don't want to take the easy route out and say everything, but everything. I'm over here taking notes, just going through everything. One thing is definitely making sure that it's okay to talk to oneself better and to understand and have the true awareness of my needs mentally, emotionally, and just being able to express myself and go through the process of different things. And so I appreciate I've been here from the beginning. And so I just appreciate you literally lining this up and have an amazing cast of people to come out here and deliver and pour into the rest of us. So I appreciate that. So just literally everything I got 2 pages of notes of all the hot buzzwords, everything that was set out, the acronyms, everything is just, it was just an honor and pleasure to participate in tonight. So thank you.
You're very welcome. Thank you for taking notes and making sure that you were able to get tapped in, even though you got life going on. Looks like you're at work. But at the end of the day, guys, just like we prioritize everything else, a concert, traveling, going out to eat, nail hairs, what they say, nails done, hair done, everything did. Yes. Mindset as well. Okay. I'll be cracking Joe Bond up all the time, y'all. So anyways, listen, let me get one more share before we move to Lady Ty, the great. Okay, I feel like I need to have my crown on, you know what I'm saying? Who else we got? Who's gonna share? Y'all want me to pick? Give me a 7 if you want me to pick, because I'll pick. I ain't scared. I ain't never scared. What? Okay, I'll stop. Who want me to pick? Okay, so here's the deal. I have not heard from Shalonda. Shalonda, are you free to share what has been resonating for you tonight?
I knew I was about to be picked. I'm over here with my grandson climbing all over me, y'all. So I'm sorry that I'm hiding. But I have gained a lot. He a hater. But the devil is a liar, because I'm gonna get everything that I came here for. A lot of things did resonate with me, but I want to tell Jovain, thank you so very much for sharing your story. I actually, when I heard from you yesterday, I immediately went to your Instagram page and friended you or followed you. I'm sorry, I'm not good with social media, but and I did see your video, and I was like super hyped for you with hearing, the words that you spoke, and super proud of you. But I appreciate you sharing about your clothing, because I was recently having a conversation just with a friend of mine, and I always attributed the way that I dress as like, oh, I'm just this modest girl. I never actually took the time to really put together that due to my childhood trauma, that's when I started literally always wanting to cover up and hide myself, because it became a form of being protected. Maybe nobody will notice me. I won't be seen. I'll just kind of fade into the back because nobody's paying me much attention. So all of this ties into, really, truly connecting that mindset is so pivotal for healing. And through all of these resources, I'm grateful because it's changed the dynamic of how I talk to my children. It's changed the type of questions that I ask them, so that now, you said, start your healing before you have your children. For me, I have 4 of them, so my healing is coming after. But I'm so grateful for the God that we serve, because my brokenness didn't bleed into them. They came into the world with a level of understanding that mommy is not 100%, but she's the best at what she's doing with what she has. Because I intentionally, that word is so key with mindset, intentionally made the decision that I was not going to allow some of the same things that passed on generationally. There was not going to be, well, her mom went through that and her mom went through that, so she went through that too. And so my one of my daughters told me today, mommy, I'm so proud of you. for the woman and the mom that you are, because you've done such a great job. And I'm sitting here like, well, okay, thank you so much. But I'm gonna pull y'all together because I think we need to have a vulnerability conversation. We all need to be transparent and seeing each other. So it really, truly changes the dynamic. And that's what generational and how generational curses are broken. So I'm not trying to take the platform anymore, but
you
I'm
good
out of my comfort zone too. So Coach Ty, see, this for you again. Your coaching is going far. But thank you so much truly for this platform. And I was falling asleep at 5:30. I was like, nope, get up. We got to go. So thank you.
You are very welcome. Listen, that was a powerful share. I'm glad I called on you. We are dwindling down to our last speaker. Save the best for last, okay? Because we have shifting into a greater mindset with Lady Ty the Great. It's so funny. We have been knowing each other virtually through social, and I seen her in Miami at a conference, and I randomly asked her on the spot, "Hey, you want to speak at my Mindset Megafest?" She immediately said yes, and here we are. So guys, listen, if you have an idea, bring your idea to fruition. I literally made up Mindset Megafest 30 days ago and said, I'm about to have a Mindset Megafest. I'm about to get some thought-provoking, impactful, ride or die speakers, practitioners, experts, and we're going to share and pour into the people just because we can, just because we're able, just because we are capable. You don't have to have an excuse. You don't have to have something that happened and that's why you're doing X, Y, Z. No, do it anyways. Do it because you want to. Do it because your heart says do it, right? So I want to thank Lady Ty for saying yes last minute. And here we are. Lady Ty, you have the floor. I am spotlighting you. And let's get it.
Woo woo! What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Lady Ty the Great, and I've come to shine and not shrink. So I'm super excited for all of you. Y'all, let's get it. So much has been said. First of all, I talk fast, so I'm going to slow it on down. Jovan, I love you. LaShana, crowns off to you, sis. Thank you so much, Queen, for putting this together because you were already in the greater mindset. So y'all, I got a bunch of stuff I want to tell y'all in a little bit of time. So let's get it. So first of all, I want to thank God because we are here because his greater spirit is on the inside of us. So it's already a great day. Y'all see the shirt. Great, greater, Lady Ty the Great. You are the greatest. You are the greatest version of yourself right now in this moment, and you're about to become even greater. Sis just said something. She said, no excuse, right? You don't have to make no excuse. There's no excuse to be great. You already are great. That's just what you started with. So sometimes in life, we go through just what Jovan shared with us, trials, tribulations, and it's time for us to now triumph over the trauma. So in order for us to shift into the greater mindset, we have to deal with the real and deal with the lesser mindset that we had at hand, right? So can we be real? In order for us to get to the greater, right? We start in businesses, we write in books, we doing all this stuff, but we haven't dealt with what's going on with us. So now it's time for you to tap into your greater. The greatness is already on the inside of you. I know we said that, but many of us sweep things under the rug. We don't deal with it. And it's so amazing because what Jovan said, I love how everything aligns. Like he's in the vein. I'm the self-published author of a book titled Daddy Issues. I was molested at the age of 8, raped at the age of 11, like so much trauma and drama. My ex-husband tried to murder me, held at gunpoint. Like I escaped death 5 times. Like I could tell y'all all about it. I wrote a whole book. Don't worry. But anybody that's on this message, I am willing to actually even give that to you because I want to show you what it's like to have unforgiveness, bitterness, disappointment, and still get over it. Still going through your healing process, but I reconcile and connected with anybody in my life that has harmed me and did me ill, right? And I'm not saying that the process was easy, but for me, y'all, the process was supernatural. I connected in with God when I was a non-believer turned believer. God was like, yo, fam, nah, you playing. And I'm like, nah, I'm not feeling you because you're in charge of everything. Look at everything that's happening in my life, right? So I'm here to let you know that your identity, I know you can't see it, but your identity is revealed when you get healed. right? And that's the same thing bro said. I wrote that on a book in 2017. Your identity is revealed when you get healed. I was doing so many things. I was an entrepreneur from the age of 16, getting good money. And God said, I'm going to show you what it's like. And I'm going to crumble everything to show you it's nothing without me, right? And so no matter what your belief system is, all I'm saying is that there is greater. There's greater in store, and it's time for us to lock in and tap into that greater. And I'm here to show you the steps on how to operate in that greater. But let me get to these notes that I got some good notes, y'all, right? So in order for us to tap into the greater mindset, we need to deal so we can heal. Let's look at the word great. Great means considerably above normal or average. Now, if you're a great person, you are important or a distinguished person. Another definition of great, excellently or very well, right? And definitions are important because words are defining things. When we talk about trauma, that's a word that we've identified with. But when we talk about triumph, that's the opposite of the trauma, right? When we talk about lesser and we talk about greater, every day we have the opportunity to decide to choose. We can choose to win or we can choose to lose. Many of you may know we can choose life or we can choose death. So right now I'm going to ask you, which one are you choosing? Are you choosing greater? If you're choosing greater, just type greater in the chat right now, right? What is mindset? Mindset refers to the general attitudes and the way they typically think about things. So listen, you at the, where you at? The Megafest of mindset. Come on now, it's lit. So the general attitude that you used to have, that you typically used to think, the way you general, how many of y'all resonate with the word general? It's nothing about me, general. I'm beyond extra. That's why I just wear the crown every day, y'all. It's a whole vibe. It's me, though. My crown is my accountability. Shout out to everybody. Where the AOD crew at? Where's the accountability on demand at? Like, y'all in here, right? Because, so for me, my crown is my accountability. I'm the daughter of a king. And sometimes I can cut up. Can I be real with y'all? I'm holy hood. The hood people say I'm too holy. Ever since I found God, they like, oh, there she go posting scriptures on Facebook her whole life. Because I need them. I need them, y'all. I needed them. And I still do. But the holy people is like, yo, she's too hood. And I decided I'm excited to fit right in my lane. I like hip hop and I like gospel. What you gonna do? I don't fit in that box over there, nor in this box over there. But my crown on reminds me, listen, queens keep their head up, and so do kings. Queens don't have to address so many things in a rah-rah way. There is a way to hold your own. And so I'm walking in that queendom, if you will. You feel me? But I am authentically excited to be who I am. And that's why I want to talk to you about being your greatest self and operating in that greater. All right. So we not general, we not average, we're great and we're greater. And that's the mindset that we're shifting into. See what I'm saying? And please know, even in the trauma and the drama, all things work together for the good. And that's the part of the skill that we have to get on. See, there's no gray area. It's not this, it's either this or that. It's either a yes or a no. Too many times we on the fence and we playing back and forth. We doing a maybe because you in the middle of the seesaw. Sis, which one is it? Right, bro? Which one is it? And once you decide it's going to be greater, it's going to be easy for you to identify the lesser. You know that old relationship you're supposed to let go of. You know that job that's whack, that's not serving you, but you settled. So operating in your greater means, come on, you an OG. Type OG if you an OG in the chat. It don't stand for original gangster. It stands for you operating in your greater, y'all. Come on, where the OGs at? Right? So the OGs are in the building, and let's get to these steps. I got 7 steps that I'm gonna share you about, and I have something I'm gonna share with you. I'm gonna give you something, right? The 7 steps are start, stop, define, draw, decide, create, end, and begin. I know that's a lot. You don't have to trip about writing it down because I'm gonna give you a free ebook. Yes, because LaShana's lit like that. So y'all finna get the great print. Probably can't see, but you about to get the great print, right? Okay, so step 1, start. I need you to move. I need you to get up. And what are we talking about? We're talking about you operating in your greater. In order for you to operate in your greater, you have to decide that I want more. I know that there's more. Now let me make a time aside to tap in. I'm not talking about your personal prayer time. I'm not talking about your meditation time. I'm talking about greatness is demanding its own time. If you met a new boo today and he was fine or she was gorgeous and y'all getting ready to get lit, they want some time. So you can't be like, I'm going to talk to you during prayer. I'm going to talk to you. Nah, it's a whole date out here. So let's get ready to date. Let's get ready to have a great date, okay? A date with greatness. And so I'm asking you, I'm sharing with you what worked for me. I took 1 hour out of my day. I know some of y'all like, oh, that's a lot. It's 24 in a day. But what is a lot? Great is going to give you a greater reward. Imagine the reward of the harvest. But I know I don't have to convince you about what to do because you already in a greater mindset. You just went to gyms. Here we go. Yeah, make sure y'all grab the replay because we lit up in here. And so one, I need you to set aside a time that you're going to operate in your greater, where you're going to lock in for that 1 hour, right? You grab a pen and paper and you allow all the thoughts that you never allowed to flow out of you. Remember, greater is he that is in me than he that is in this world. There's a greater spirit on the inside of you that has been buried. Remember, the trauma's on top of it, the drama, the this, the that, what other people said. Now it's time for you to hear your path. See, you can follow somebody else's blueprint, but it's not yours. Just like Sis said, the affirmation queen, come on. She broke it down to us. She's like, I'm not giving you my blueprint. I'm just sharing with you. You all, come on, Jeremiah 29:11. God has a plan to prosper you, not to harm you, a plan for you, to give you a hope in the future. So I would be remiss to say, hey, you do this and you're going to win. No, I need you to tap in and lock in with the greatness within. All right, so step one, start, move, get up. Right? You got to move. You got to get up. Greatness deserves a certain space. So even when you're going to be in a space, like Sis told us about, remove the clutter. Like that's what works for her. Get in a space and relax in that moment. Step two, stop. Stop thinking others share the same revelation as you, the same vision as you. You're wasting time by not managing your time. Name your time and claim your time. You're not the creator of time. You hear what I'm saying? So now it's time for you to manage the time that you do have. Step three, define great, which we already did, that above normal or average, and that's you. Step four, draw a picture of your future. Yes, I said draw a picture of your future. Get your pen, your paper, get you some crayons, get a marker. Why are you scared to be childlike? Why are you scared to tap back in to that younger self? Because see, before I got molested at 8, before I got backslapped by my father, before life came crashing in and I felt like I had to protect myself, I was a free young child with joy. So now it's time for you to tap in, get some crayons, y'all. We did it on our authors retreat. 5, decide a time to be great. Schedule in a time for greatness. Whatever that's going to look like, I'm telling you, if you try this, you're going to rocket ship. Okay, 6, create a great space. Everything has its place. The kitchen is for cooking. The bathroom is for bathroom business, right? So you'll get better results when you create a space that's just for greatness. When you set apart that space that you can focus in on. So honor that space. A lot of us don't have, I have a chair that I sit in that I do a certain thing in. And step number 6, the end. Go to the operating table. Prepare to be great, right? It's a medical release. Y'all know what that's like, going to the operating table. Focus on the big picture, the great picture. Look at the legacy. Look at what you've drawn. Look at what you started working on. Work this thing from the end to the beginning. You've been drafted into greatness, y'all. That's my time. I mean, there's so much more, but I'm just so excited. Everything works together for the good. You can triumph over your trauma. Listen, I teach people how to turn a life story into a self-published book because it's possible, but how to take that pain and make that pain pay you. I'm so proud of y'all for being here. Everybody's not here, but the right people are here. Tap in, lock in. It's your girl, Lady Tyler Gray. I love y'all. I'm honored. Shonda, did I do good with the time? Did I do it right? Good. Let me know.
You did excellent, bro. How can the people get your ebook that you promised them?
Oh, awesome. So go ahead, y'all. Y'all can send me a text and put OG in it because you are OG 770-990-2037. 770-990-2037. And text OG, operating your greater. I believe in the greater in you. And it was an honor. It was a pleasure. And yes.
Thank you so much. Let's give Lady Ty the Great some love. First of all, her name alone, you better put some respect on her name. Anybody got the Great after their name? I'm just like, attention. I'm in full alignment. You feel me? So listen, thank you, sis. I love your energy. You are doing amazing things. Make sure you guys text OG to that number. And what I want to do, I was actually going to speak tonight, but I'm not going to because I want to hold us to the time. But I want to reiterate a few things. Get the replay. And one thing that I want to add is Zariah has been putting notes of each speaker. So what I'm going to do In addition to the replay, you're going to get a quick synopsis of each speaker in the notes. I'm not going to let Zariah's work in these notes go in vain. So when you get the replay, it's only $27. You're also going to get all the notes from each speaker because we have different kind of learners. Yeah, somebody can watch the replay and hear all this and that, but some people need to actually see the words and read the words. Y'all feel me? So we're going to add that as well. The replay will be ready within 24 to 48 hours. And what I also want to share is a little bit about me. So I'm a business therapist, and I created this space because I had been hearing from my clients just some essence of stagnation and overwhelm and depletion and stress. And I said, you know what? I'm tired of learning about funnels. I'm tired of learning about email marketing. I don't want to learn how to make $1,000 in a minute. We want to learn about empowering each other in healing and mindset and growing mentally, spiritually, and emotionally. So that's why I created this experience for us tonight, right? And I always do stuff online, so you guys will be able to hear me speak. But if you want to stay connected with me, you can text the word mindset to 678-336-7756. And you'll be able to get a complimentary clarity call to see how I could potentially support you if you need to do some deep inner work and pinpoint the mindset blocks that are holding you back. I also love supporting and connecting, so make sure you're following myself and all the speakers. And again, if you're not signed up for AOD Live, virtually or in person, you are tripping. We've been dropping the links all night long. We're going to drop them one more time. We have a 50% off special where you can get it half off. Please get in the building. And then when you get in the building, don't just be a fly on the wall. Be an active participant so you can get your breakthrough. Be selfish with your time. Be selfish with your breakthrough. So what I'm going to do to wrap up, I'm going to take about 5 minutes. I just want a couple shares. What was the bomb.com for you tonight? No matter how big or how small, I literally want to know, like, what was the thing that just said, you know what? Okay, like you hype. When you get off of here, you're literally excited and invigorated because of what you learned tonight. Who would like to come off mute and share?
I'll go ahead and
I
share.
will.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Kate.
Oh, you got it. Ladies first.
Okay, thank you. For me, what always is, one person affects millions of people. And only by listening to you and Tony yesterday live, I was able to tap into the greatness that I already know I am and get connected with more community-minded like people. This is powerful. This is what we need. We need these dialogues. We need to see that we are okay. We are okay, y'all. We are okay. And when we're not okay, we can fix it. Because it's like it takes a village to raise one child. We're still children of the King. So it's going to take all of us to help all of us. Thank you.
Tonight, for me, it was the validation that don't have to put on a male bravado and ego and pride to be able to actually tap into your vulnerability and express your emotions, to be able to have a peace of mind and solidarity with your thoughts so that you can be someone that is of impact and of influence in your community. I think a lot of times I dealt with things internally instead of expressing them externally. And I think that's allowed me to go through some dark points, but those dark points have made me into the man I am. And through the stories of the gentleman that shared tonight, I found that through being in a female-driven industry as a writer, I found that from actually listening and reacting instead of acting, I found the capability to trust within myself that in due time, God will work through me as a vessel. And I can believe that Black men are out there like me, actually putting the work in to actually restore our Black community. So that's what I found as I listened to the speakers tonight.
Oh, wow. So good. So Justice, thank you so much for sharing. And Jeremy, thank you for sharing. Like, And y'all, this is vicarious learning. When one person shares, it impacts another person's thought, and it's just a domino effect if you're open to that, right? So I want to thank everyone for coming tonight. Make sure you join my Facebook group. It's a free community, Accountability on Demand Live. And literally, we're going to be doing some cool things for the AOD live event. So even if you don't come, you'll still be able to get plugged in. Today, we actually started our 5 weeks of accountability. Make sure to hit the link in my bio. Every time I'm doing events like this, you'll always see it in my bio, and you're now on my email list. So if you don't want to receive consistent communication, because I'm consistent with my communication, just want to let you know that, make sure you unsubscribe. I know y'all not going to, but I just want to put that out there, because I believe that I can make an impact one person at a time. And if I shrink, and if I say, you know what, they may not want to hear that, somebody's not going to get a breakthrough. And that's not happening on my watch, because when you get a breakthrough, I get a breakthrough. Okay. And I'm getting my breakthroughs. I don't know about y'all, but I'm getting mine. Okay. So, so on that note, you guys have an amazing night. Please share in your stories and on social what resonated. Share a flyer, tag me, tag AOD, tag all the speakers, and you guys have an amazing night. Keep fighting a good fight. Bye, y'all. Peace out. Let me see if we can go out on Tony's music. Hold up, y'all. If don't be scattering like no roaches now. My people be scattering real quick. They be like, pew, pew. They be gone, y'all. I'm being funny, but I'm being serious too. Hold up, I gotta hear me some Tony real quick. Y'all can go. I'm gonna do it by myself if I have to. Who gonna stay with me for a minute? Who gonna stay with me? I see y'all staying with me. Come on. Okay, hold up. We here. Hey, this is my song right here, y'all. Listen to this real quick.
I recall all my power and all my energy back to me with divine care. Whoever,
I see you, Diane.
My light energy, run that back. I'm emotionally gifted, so I must guard that gift with wisdom and firmness. My openness is emotionally generous. I must be watchful. I'm seeing who are and aren't skilled to receive. I receive what others' blind spots are, teaching me about budgeting my energy and setting and boundaries. I have the right to tell people what they don't want to hear in the name of setting and boundaries. I also want to exhaust myself.
Y'all better be grooving.
On people who ain't listening. I'm done with people pleasing and the attachment to make everyone happy with me. I won't share like how I used to share. I people wiser. I know now people pleasing isn't love, but it is fear. I am magnificent at releasing expired emotional ties to how I structure my life with people, knowledge, money, friends, nutrition, health of my body, love, and time. I'm free from over-explaining and justifying my choices. My cutoffs are personal. They're spiritual. Anyways, I call back all energy that belongs to me. I am not the caretaker of those who want to stay asleep. I release the programming of being overly responsible for the happiness of others. The divinity in me, you know what's up. Tell me who I should share my intimate energy with. I focus my energy on who sees me and skillfully respects me. Not those who are skilled in choosing their false stories about me. I notice and accept when there is unequal energy exchange.
Y'all listen. Okay, let me go ahead and stop, because I'll be here all night. Okay. Thank you guys again. And thank you for hanging out with me while I was doing my antics. If you're not following Tony on YouTube and Instagram, make sure you do that. Her YouTube playlist, crazy. The whole thing will just save your life. That's why I wanted her to be here tonight. And she said yes. Hey, cutie. So on that note, you guys have an amazing night. Keep fighting a good fight. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye, guys.
Bye.